What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details.
Woo! We are back, baby.
We're back. And by that we mean it's another episode. We're still doing episodes.
Yeah.
Which, after we talk about this movie, you'll be surprised that we're ever going to do another one after it.
The last episode of Mostly Nitpicking.
It should be. It should be.
This is our farewell tour, everybody.
If we didn't have Spice Worlds and Santa Chronicles ahead of us, we would
I'm
pack
so
up
excited.
shop.
I said this last episode, maybe it was during the Roald Dahl Witches episode, but I said that like the next month or two, like 6 weeks, is going to be incredible just because of the slate of movies we have to do.
Let's talk about that. So I was trying to discuss this with Diggins, like very briefly, back when DJ was walking the dog, maybe.
Walking the dog.
Or feeding the dog.
Feeding the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In universe, in real life, maybe, but definitely in comic universe, it's a sex thing for us and comedy purposes. But so we were talking, okay, so stuff that's coming up. So we do have Spice World on the docket for when there's not a thing, but we have quite a few things.
None of you cowards donated to negate it.
Yep.
So. Hashtag defund the Spice Girls.
Not even on Giving Tuesday. You couldn't even do it then.
I mean, it's good. It's for the good of the world. We need to. I mean, I think at this point I'm gonna watch it with or without the podcast because I'm just curious about it. I'm like those musicians, and I remember seeing that movie and going, "This was fine." But anyway, so we got a Christmas Chronicles sequel has come out.
Yes,
you can watch right now. So we're gonna do that. Tenet is getting a home release on the 14th or 15th, I think, of December.
Yep, gotta do Tenet.
Yep, and who knows if it's any good or not. I haven't seen it, but if I did, not a fan. Then we've got, after that, there's a week of kind of nothing. But then after that, we got Wonder Woman and Soul coming out of the same week. So who knows how we're going to do that.
We're going to do Wonder Soul. We're going to pretend the two movies are one movie, and that'll be the episode.
Are we going to do Soul? I feel like there's not a lot to nitpick there. It's like...
Well, I mean,
we're not going to know how much there is to nitpick in either movie until we watch them.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman's going to be bad, so we'll definitely be able to find stuff there, as we know.
Except for Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, which is going to be the most perfect villain performance in any superhero movie.
Oh my god.
That's true.
Scary, jellicle, boring, confusing, all at the same time. Every December 25th, a cat has to be released into the world. We were lucky last year that it was many. This year it will be just one.
Oh, man. We should do Cats again just to celebrate a year since Cats came out.
Oh, yeah. Our Cats anniversary. That would be beautiful.
Oh. But, I don't know. Soul, as a movie, we don't know very much about it, but it seems like a movie about nothing but bullshit mechanisms for, like, how did the babies learn words and, like, stuff. So I could see it being fun to nitpick. I don't know. Plus, jazz isn't music, so there's that.
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay.
And Jamie Foxx is a real actor, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
And Stevie Wonder isn't blind.
Well,
that's
that
right.
is true.
And those are the three conspiracies that we're allowed to believe in, because they're all pretty funny. I don't know, man. I don't think Jamie Foxx... I don't know. I'll never quite know with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm like, he's pretty
out.
good. And sometimes I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. But he beat me up in real life, probably. Seems like a tough guy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe just because of horrible bosses.
Especially if he was invisible. He'd be really good at beating you up then.
Handed to him. So, not speaking of that, but also I did want to... So anyway, we got a lot of movies to talk about. Although, there is that 1 week of nothing between Christmas, like the pre-Christmas week. So, I don't know if there's a Christmas movie we want to do.
The Christmas Chronicles?
Well, Christmas Chronicles 2 we could do next week, because it is out. Or, I don't know if like we could do like Wonder Woman 1... We could do, like, but I think that movie's been kind of picked to death. But we could do, like, a Christmas movie. We could do, I don't know. I'm sure some other bullshit will be released. I'm sure there'll be...
already do Wonder Woman when it came out?
Like, I don't know if it was mostly nitpicking at the time.
Yeah.
We talked about it on some podcast.
Yeah, I don't think it existed as a mostly nitpicking artifact, though. Time to go to the Google machine.
Maybe that'll be the perfect time for another Fast and Furious.
Yeah, there's those.
Oh, we are... good call, Diggins.
I think some bullshit.
5 more of those?
Yeah, because we already did Hobbs and Shaw, so...
Yeah. But I also think some bullshit might sneak up on us on Netflix, right? Like maybe, some holiday or something will become the biggest thing on the planet, and we'll want to talk about that in 2 weeks. I don't know what that will be, obviously, because who knows, but there's
maybe
a potential
we all
that
just watch one Hallmark Christmas movie, and we all bring one Hallmark
I love
Christmas
that.
movie.
I mean, to be fair, I do watch those. I love those bad movies. I can't wait for, and I don't think it's out yet, the Princess Switch 2. Maybe it is. Maybe we could do Princess Switch 2. Have you guys ever seen Princess Switch?
No.
Can't say that I have.
So Princess Switch 1 came out in 2018. But Princess Switch 2 is... So Princess Switch is the one with Vanessa Hudgens, and it's pretty much Princess and the Pauper, kind of. And Vanessa Hudgens has to do a British accent. It's hilarious. Maybe Princess Switch 2 has been out this whole time, and I didn't know. Yeah, it looks like it was released in November. How?
Wow.
How did this sneak by me?
I know,
so
right?
we got that. Princess Switch is pretty funny. And then there's Christmas Prince, equally stupid, about a man who has to get married because he lives in a country that values Christmas above all else. And not like Vatican City, but like it values Mall Santa Christmas, where it's like give presents and have snow. So those movies are pretty funny because the more you get into what this country is, the sillier it gets. We could also do Hillbilly Elegy. I don't know. We got options.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
hard pass.
They're anxious economically, you guys. It's not their fault.
It excuses everything they do.
Didn't make any choices.
Listen, I will die for Amy Adams, but I will not watch Hillbilly Elegy for Amy Adams. I'm sorry.
Wow, that's
Monster.
Really?
I can't wait. I mean, I'm not going to watch it. It seems terrible. But anyway, so I think what we should do is this coming week we do Christmas Chronicles 2 because that is out, and that is like people are talking about it. And then we leave a week of space, and we're going to keep our
mystery box for our
exactly. We keep our ears to the pulse, ears to the ground, finger on the pulse, whatever. We see what comes up. If you guys have a great suggestion that's really, really perfect and like fits this moment specifically, maybe we'll do that. If some movie comes out that we all forgot about on like Disney Plus or Hulu or something, maybe we'll do that. And then if none of those options make sense, maybe that'll be Spice World. I don't know.
We should do. So wait, Diggins, have you seen the first Christmas Chronicle?
Nope.
So here's the question.
I'm torn between watching it to be ready or not watching it to see how confused I am.
I almost want you to not watch it because I remember Nando and I did this game with you once where we did like Fast and Furious trivia, and it was like we would give you a truth or lie about Fast and Furious.
That was for the Fast 9 trailer.
Yeah,
because I hadn't seen it.
Yeah. We could do something similar with Christmas Chronicles.
I mean, I don't know what Christmas Chronicles like. I don't know how much of Christmas Chronicles 1 carries over into 2. Like, you could see 2. Like, 2 should be a hard reboot of the Christmas Chronicles series.
It really should be.
Because the idea of Kurt Russell as badass action movie Santa Claus is great, and the execution of it is fine. But I think if they really lent into it, it would be good. They would know things. Like, they would have learned from their experience and be able to make the movie we want. But, I don't know. It's a tough one. We'll see. I don't want to, like, make any promises.
No, it's important not to make promises.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do, you know what? Oh, guys, speaking of things we should talk about before the episode starts, everybody ready to pour out one for Quibi?
Yes.
I don't know this news. What happened?
No, it's just that the thing that we released an emergency podcast thing has officially happened.
Yeah, it's over. It's officially dead as of yesterday.
No. Oh, we can't even get like free Quibi. It's like dead. Ugh.
Yeah, you can't even sign into the app or access any of the content. You have to do Lobies for now. It's all long bites. It sucks. Why even bother?
If you want to go back and watch Jack Sparrow House, you can.
Apparently, that was fake. I read about it. It just really upset me.
I
want a real one, though. I think we should do it. Like,
we
what's
should make
stopping
our own
us?
Jack Sparrow House.
Yeah, copyright issues probably, but still, it could just be called Sassy Pirate House or something. And then, we just have a bunch of people cosplay as Jack Sparrow and then just see what happens, because that's amazing. But
That's
yeah,
such a bummer.
Quibi is dead.
I'm like legitimately upset.
How am I supposed to see a woman demand that she keep her golden arm, even though it's killing her?
Well, that's the other thing. I really want the Quibi draft to happen, where all of the networks have they each get a representative, and it's someone in a costume from their most watched show. So, like, a little Stranger Things child or Queen's Gambit or whatever. And then, like, I don't know, what's on Hulu? Woke, the guy from Woke, and The Mandalorian, and what are the other streaming networks? HBO Go, one of those aliens that's a robot, and is it a person? They all sit down and draft Quibi shows for their network.
Oh,
I love the NBA
that.
draft.
I love that.
Do you think we could put a bid in for a couple Quibi shows?
I know which ones I like. We watched more of them than anyone ever has. Like,
well,
we know more about Quibi.
Weren't there two guys with a Quibi-based podcast?
Yeah, but
Quibi sued them and shut them down.
All right, so I guess we were the preeminent Quibi podcast then.
I mean, there's so many Quibi shows we could get. Do you want Dishmantled, the show hosted by Titus, where they shoot food at people and make them make the food? Do you want...
I want Idris Elba versus Block. That's what I want. I want that.
I'd love to force him to do another season of that.
I want Elba versus Block, or I want the ESPN in 6 minutes. I legitimately like that show. And I think they made it exclusively for Quibi, so that guy's out of a job. Poor him. And
yeah.
Can ESPN just put that out on their app and like
they can? I'm sure they will.
Put it behind the ESPN Plus paywall. I already have ESPN Plus, so I'd watch it.
Oh man, guys, if we bought Elba versus Block, we could do a season 2 where they both have to do acting challenges.
Yeah, we get him to do all of his, like, we just redo the sets or just get green screen or whatever, and we see how Block can do at, like, Pacific Rim and stuff. Read all the lines. He has to do a British accent, and we see what we get.
This is our moment.
I want a show. If I get to pick one show, I want the one where they flip a house that a murder happened in. We didn't really talk about this, but this was one of the dumber Quibi shows, premise-wise, that I refuse to watch because I don't watch home flipping shows. But the idea was they found a house that, like, a big old murder happened in, and they flip it, like, you know, Extreme Home Makeover style.
I love that. I love that. I'm surprised there was no cooking-based show, because there's, like, cooking shows everywhere.
I just said there was a cooking show.
Wait.
The one where they shoot the food at you. That's a real one. It's called Dishmantled.
But it's a cooking show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the whole idea. Is that they had the contestants were chefs, and after the food was fired at their face, they had to figure out what it was and then recreate it.
Yeah,
that's wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Chopped, but with like a a t-shirt cannon full of peanut butter and jelly or whatever. I don't know.
And this is lobster bisque. Boom.
Pretty much, but they wouldn't tell them. They would have like a little outfit on, and they'd be able to taste what was on the outfit. Like they'd be like, this has the consistency of porridge and whatever. And they'd just go through, and then they'd have all the ingredients they could need, and they'd make that.
I used to love. Did you guys ever watch Hell's Kitchen? I watched a lot of Hell's Kitchen in like high school.
When it started. I think I watched it.
I was addicted to that show. My favorite part was when like they would do the blind food tasting, or Gordon Ramsay would just like put out like stuff. And I was always convinced that like they would tell these people to get it purposely wrong, because like they'd put out like, olives, and the person would be like, eggs? And it's like, there's no way you think those are eggs, you stupid person. Like how are you a chef? How are you a chef? But
yeah, I mean,
I digress.
So either way, we can buy all the Quibi shows we want, probably. But I do think there should be some sort of Quibi draft that we can all be a part of and like enjoy as spectators, and they should put it on any of the other apps.
So
everyone but
Quibi.
Anything
besides Quibi.
Yeah, you can't watch it on Quibi. I mean, you cannot sign into your Quibi. You can still have the app on your phone, but you can't even do it.
So I know some people, when people pass away, that they don't delete the phone number because it's like too much of like an emotional blow. Have you not deleted the Quibi app? Have you? Like,
I think I had deleted it previously. I have like my phone every so often. I'll be like, you don't use these apps anymore. You want to delete them, and I usually do.
Okay.
Which is why I have to re-download Spotify every like month. But it's yeah, I think it's that. I think that's like, I think I don't have it anymore. Let's see. I kind of want it now. I feel like
well,
I
now
could
you
have,
can't
like,
download it, right?
Yeah, fuck. I don't think I have Quibi anymore. Damn it.
And you
Does
won't
it not
have
even appear in your like previous purchases?
Oh, maybe. Let's see. Quibi. Let's see what happens when you Google Quibi on your phone.
I think someone should buy The Most Dangerous Game and like TNT. I feel like TNT could just because they used to have the commercial breaks are already set for them. You know,
Yeah.
It'll never get released in a theater. It's a TNT made for TV movie.
Man, if you did a
that's-
commercial every time there's a Quibi break in that movie, you would have so many commercials.
Well, they could be short commercial. I mean, that was true in Quibi, right? There was a commercial
Yeah.
between
Yeah,
every.
there was a reason it was a bad model.
Well, but
Not
to
if
be
you had the premium version, Diggins. Not if you had the premium version.
to be fair, a regular television show is about 8 minutes of content and then about 2 minutes of commercials. Times, however, times 6 for 60 and times 3 for 30-minute program. So honestly, the Quibi model ain't too far off from what you'd expect.
Oh, I actually still have Quibi on my phone.
Wow.
So you want to hear something wild? The Quibi app, you can still download it.
Okay.
Which isn't crazy, but it's but I don't think you can sign in or like create an account. But if
Right.
you Google it, you Google like Quibi app on an Android device at least, which is what I use. The device, the app is like Quibi, get all your content or whatever for free, almost as if. And I think what they mean is just like the app itself is free.
Yeah.
But it should be that the content is free with ads, and then that's the normal. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a crazy thing. We
That's
talked
what
about
I
it.
said. You get your Quibucks,
Yeah.
and that's just how you do it. I think it would be perfect. But
Yeah,
what do
I
I
think it's-
know? I'm no Johnny
No.
executive.
You're no
there's
member of
definitely
the
something
Biden
there.
cabinet.
They'd be lucky to have her. The Quibi was brought into my memory, though. I'm sure you guys saw this on the old Twitter machine today. I guess Spotify tells you what shows you listen to. We had a bunch of people that tweeted us that they
Yes.
watched lots and lots of mostly nitpick or listened to lots and lots of mostly
Yeah,
nitpicking, and a
the
couple people
Spotify
mentioned.
Wrapped.
Yeah, they were like, someone said, I listen to so much of it, and I'm just trying to figure out how DJ eats those sandwiches or something. So, yeah, it's cool that Spotify does that. I don't listen to my podcast there, so I don't get that.
Quibi
but I probably, don't want it there because then you guys, like, we wouldn't be my number one because I don't listen to most of my podcasts. Like, I listen to
Right.
them before when I record them. But yeah, that was fun.
Quibi gave us one of the best jokes, the sandwich thing. That'll live
Yeah.
forever. That joke will live longer than Quibi does.
Without a doubt.
It already
it pretty
has.
much has. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Someone made a reference to it today.
Yeah, it's a good meme, the fun little meme, and it's the best kind of meme because there's plenty of truth to it, except no one understands it. I'm still not sure what's
Me
going
neither.
on there.
I'm also unsure of it, so it makes you feel better.
I think you have hooks. I think this was my theory that I just posited today. Is you're embarrassed because you got your hand cut off in a silly way, and you've had it replaced with a hook since quarantine, but you don't like. I guess maybe you would have to have a fake hand like claw, but yeah, you can't use it to use sandwiches or phones.
It would make me feel better if we didn't bring up the sensitive subject because you might be way too close to the truth.
That's
there.
it. Yeah. So that was Cade Madsen was like, what was it? Yeah, still trying to figure out DJ's sandwich conundrum. Listen to 51 episodes. So that's one a week, which is good. That's the amount you should watch or listen to. Someone had, and I realized this after I tweeted it, but still, someone had like an insane number, but it does give you a couple of different like metrics. So one is like how many episodes you downloaded, and one is how many episodes you listened to and whatever. And one person downloaded so many episodes that if they had listened to all of them at once, they'd just have to be listening straight throughout an entire month. That's probably the metric being confusing, but still, that is very fun. That all these people, that everybody, that Spotify pretty much just reminded us that lots of people. Oh yeah, and then so we got Chris on Twitter, Squibby Nibs, said he had you listened to 30 episodes for a total of 3,068 minutes, and
Oh my
Chris
God.
says that's like ... 384 Quibbies worth of content. Yeah, I like the idea that it's a unit of measurement, and that part of it will survive, kind of like Scaramucci.
Yes,
a mooch is
yes.
10 days, like that. Maybe that'll be it. A Quibi is 10 minutes, or somewhere between 6 and 9 minutes, I think is what the website would say.
Spotify should
it took approximately a Quibi.
Yeah.
That would be going full circle, because that's what those really confusing first commercials were, where someone referring to a short amount of time called it a Quibi, and then the commercial would end, and you're like, what the fuck is a Quibi? And no one answered the question.
That's a good point. Yeah, died the way it lived. Either way, great stuff. So yeah, keep sending those to us when you get them. And if you don't use Spotify, like I don't, you don't have to send us anything, or you could tell us you listen to the show or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think what I'll have to do is listen to people, like listen out of my window every so often, just to hear people just projectile vomiting when they hear us talk about this movie we're about to talk about. That'll be how I know they're listening to us, is because the word jujitsu is being said so many times that their brain is just like, purge the jujitsu.
Unlike the movie, the word jujitsu will be said several times.
So we're going to talk about jujitsu.
The
Diggins,
movie, not the martial art.
Oh, yeah, very much
so.
Believe
Believe me, we will not be discussing the martial art.
I want to learn about the martial art while we're doing this. But Diggins, can you describe how we came to talking about jiu-jitsu? Like, where did you find this
Diggins.
one? It was Diggins, right?
No, it was me.
No,
it was me.
The way I came to find out about this is that DJ sent us a trailer for Jiu-Jitsu and said, guys, we have to do this movie.
Oh, so DJ, how did you find it?
So, friend of the show, Devin Chin, had made me aware of this trailer. He's like, this is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And I'm like, is it? And then I watched the trailer, and I said, we need to do this for the podcast. It has Nicolas Cage in it. I don't know if this has been covered on the podcast, but Diggins, you might be the biggest Nick Cage fan I know.
I mean, people who watched our live stream of the National Treasure movies have already seen my Nicolas Cage blanket.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured that this is a perfect opportunity to do a movie that looks truly awful with Nicolas Cage, straight to DVD in 2020, or straight to whatever VOD in 2020. That's a rare opportunity for us, and I thought we should jump on it. So that's why we're here. Well, you guys didn't say no, also, so it's not all on me, right?
Well, this was the first.
We're known for our poor judgment,
and this was the first instance of VOM, which was video on mistake. Because I don't think anybody watched this movie and didn't try to immediately get a refund. Everything about this movie is bad. I have it here, so I'm going to play it again because it's been. I also watched this movie like a week ago, so some of it has kind of fluttered away from my
me
memory.
Too. I had to put it on again just so I could refresh my memory. And oh god, the narrative is all over the place.
I watched it today, and I'm putting it on again. So
this is what I get for not watching the trailer. I never saw the trailer for this. I went in completely blind.
Honestly, it might be the best.
I watched the trailer when DJ sent it to us, at least.
I was like, I'm not going to do it. It'll be more fun if I don't. And little did I know, the movie's damn confusing.
Yeah, the only reason I had any idea what was going on for the first 50 minutes of the movie is because I'd watched the trailer.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think if I didn't know where it was going, if I didn't know about one part of it specifically, I would be infinitely confused. But just in general, I think it was having the trailer really helped for this.
Well, also
I still haven't watched it.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say the trailer is the best part of the movie. It's so much better than any part of the actual
movie.
Really?
Not the transitions?
Oh
those are the best part of the movie.
I can't tell if you're being serious.
Can you tell that this movie is based on a comic book that this director also wrote?
Is it based off a comic? I couldn't figure this out. I've never heard of this comic. And I'm not super plugged in, but is the comic any good?
I can't. No, it's based off a comic that the director wrote.
Right.
He wrote it to adapt it into a movie, I think.
But I could
see... So the answer is no. The comic's not good.
So I could see, and this clearly isn't what happened. A version, a story where it's there's a comic that someone writes, it's wildly successful, and then that guy makes the movie, but he's not a director, so the movie's bad. But it's different than this. It's you're saying the comic itself is probably also bad. Is the comic called Jiu Jitsu?
I have no idea. I just know that
so.
is its provenance.
I hope it's called Jiu Jitsu.
I gotta look this up. All right, keep going. What else do we know about this movie?
All right, so it actually has some big names. You got Tony Jaa, Nicolas Cage, Frank Grillo, who Nando has met. I don't know if we've talked about that before.
When did I meet Frank Grillo?
At a bar, right? Didn't you meet him?
No, I met the cast of The Punisher. He's not the Punisher. He should be the Punisher. Not that the Punisher isn't good. He's Crossbones.
Oh,
I don't think I've met anybody in this movie.
Damn it!
to my
I'm
knowledge.
sorry. I confused. Wait, who's the Punisher then? Apparently, I'm confused.
John Barenthal.
Damn it! I confused John Barenthal for Frank Grillo. In my defense,
You know what?
How
I can see
different
it.
are they?
I can see it.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I mean, it's, yeah, people say, like, there's that movie, what's that movie they made? The second Purge movie, I think, is the one Grillo's in. I've never seen it, but people often say the plot is, what if a couple got stranded and the Punisher helped them get through the Purge? Like, he's kind of, he's built for that. But, yeah, no, I have not met him. He seems like, everything I've heard is he's nice. Because he goes to like conventions and stuff because he's from Captain America and Purges and
right?
whatever the else. Hell, I don't know this, I guess, but
I guess he needed the money.
I mean, he's like, I think he's one of those actors, and I think that was in the casting call for this, that can do his own stunts and like can like conceivably is like one of the above average stage fighters. Because that's got to be what this was, right? That's what the rest of them are.
Yeah, well, not Nicolas Cage, but I guess the rest of them who are.
Well, like Nicolas Cage and My Name Is Earl, neither of them, but everybody else, I'm like, this guy's got to be an actor or something. Did you guys call him that throughout your movie? By the way,
who?
Tex.
Oh,
You ever watch that show, My Name Is Earl?
Oh,
he was like the ex-wife's new husband.
Oh my
he was,
God,
like, friends
he was.
with Earl.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Crabman.
Yeah. So he's not obviously he's not like a martial arts, but everybody else seems like a stuntman turned actor. That was also in this movie. Like I'm looking at the list of them now. Rick Yoon, not sure about him. Who's the main character? Is that Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake
like,
from State Farm. I couldn't hear the name Jake without being Jake from State Farm. Like I don't know, maybe those ads have ruined me, but that's all I know.
Is that just because of your intense carnal lust for Jake from State Farm?
Don't Diggins, come on, man. I got a marriage to maintain. Come on.
He's got dogs to feed, all right? You know what he means.
You just put Jake from State Farm on your celebrity list and it's fine.
That's true. But yeah, just to give you an idea, everybody in this movie that is not one of those three guys, if you look up their IMDb page, all of their most known for are stunts. Stunts from Thor Ragnarok, stunts from Suicide Squad. There's nothing wrong with that, it also...
Given how... so, I wouldn't say this is generally true, but the whole subtitle thing they were doing, I was like, oh, this movie wants to be John Wick. Okay.
So badly.
Yeah.
So badly.
It wants to be a lot of things. Because also, and the other actor that I kind of recognize, did you guys recognize, actor's name is Rick Yoon. He was a villain in a movie we have done recently. Not recently, but like this year.
He's played by Anne Hathaway.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. Wait, she's not the villain. The kids are disgusting. The kids are the villains. No, it's the bad guy from Fast 1. Or one of the bad guys, I guess. Johnny Tran.
I was going to say, the bad guy from Fast 1, Vin Diesel?
Good point. It's all about perspective. But also, X-Blade from The Man with the Iron Fists is one of the guys in here.
Love that movie.
Yeah, all-star cast, man. Jesus Christ.
Is in this movie.
He's in this movie?
I think he gives an okay performance. I think the problem with casting Jesus is you're casting for name recognition. You're not casting for his ability to do stunts. Does that make sense?
Well, to be fair, he would be a great stuntman because he can resurrect himself. But also, has Nicolas Cage ever played Jesus in a movie?
I don't think so.
What are they waiting for?
I'd
Invitation?
watch it.
Yeah. Like, it seems like it would be like I think there's like a Family Guy sketch where they do like Jesus 2, the action movie.
Yeah.
But like, I can see a movie where like Jesus gets brought back to Earth, but he's like, a crazy person, and his job is to kill one guy who's the Antichrist, and the Jesus is Nicolas Cage, and that's a movie right there.
I gotta find him. I gotta find the Antichrist. Listen,
more of a
you gotta
script
listen to
than
me.
this.
I'm Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
Son of God, Jesus, rose from the dead, resurrected Lazarus, that Jesus!
I guess, to be fair, Ghost Rider's kind of like Jesus in many ways.
Yeah.
In that he exerts vengeance. That's what Jesus
I was going to say.
Right? I haven't read a whole lot of Bible recently.
Yeah, Jesus has a flaming skull. He punishes sinners mercilessly.
Yeah.
He ties people up with chains.
He's way better than Jesus, if you ask me.
Rides a motorcycle.
Yeah.
All Jesus
That
things.
is true of Jesus.
Yeah. But okay. So we got Jesus himself. Nicolas Cage is in this movie. Boy, wouldn't you know it? He is all over the promotional material for this movie.
He did not phone it in. He's here to play, boy.
I don't know. He kind of phoned it in.
What? You crazy?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I think there's a difference. I do. I expect more from him.
Wow, that's surprising.
I think you can have a director who doesn't really know what he's doing, who's probably this guy. No offense, I don't know. The movie's terrible, but you could have someone direct Nicolas Cage who doesn't know how to direct Nicolas Cage that just goes, do Nicolas Cage, do crazy, and then there's a different director who's like, here's why this is this, and I don't know. I think there's
sure.
levels.
If you want to say that this is not his best, no, I don't think it's his most insane performance or whatever. I think it's fun.
Opus.
And I also think that you're onto something there where it's it's not that he's not putting in the effort, it's that the director doesn't know what he wants out of Nick Cage or how to articulate
I guess
it,
that's my big problem with it.
Or how to make a movie.
Here's the thing about Nicolas Cage. He will give you exactly what you want from him. Even if what you want from him is bad, he will deliver.
Well,
and he's never not delivering.
And I think the script for this movie, and I'd love to read it because sometimes you can get fun stuff from reading scripts, like in Game of Thrones, where you read the script for the last episode and it's funny because of how it's he burns the metaphor. But
you mean the Emmy Award-winning script for?
Yeah. Suicide Squad won an Oscar. It's all bullshit. No
won
Weekend
an Oscar
in the
for
Grammys.
makeup.
Who cares?
We do this all the time. It's not 1-to-1, but
award shows are a waste of time. But no, I'm thinking I bet the script for this says when his character first appears as a man walks up, kind of like the Nicolas Cage from memes. And I think that's the Nick Cage we got. And I think the fun thing about Nicolas Cage is all of the best Nicolas Cage performances, to some extent, are supposed to be taken seriously. I don't think you could do Tommy Wiseau The Room on purpose and get anything fun out of it. You have to be going for something, and then this just seems like it's going for Nicolas Cage as a silly guy the internet likes. And that's the wrong choice. That's why I didn't like him in this movie, I guess is more what I'm saying. I don't blame him. But even the Nicolas Cage in this movie couldn't save me. It's upsetting.
All right. Okay.
all right.
However, I do like Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa is great, and Tony Jaa is also stuntman turned actor, I think. But he's at least mostly an actor from.
He's someone who knows how to do it, though.
Yeah. Also from
most of these people.
Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Yeah, for the 7th one, which we haven't done on the show yet, but very unceremoniously thrown into the bad guy crew. So you got all those actors plus a bunch of stuntmen and someone in a Halloween costume with the light on its front.
With a comic panel taped to the faceplate.
It was from Power Rangers Zordon, but just stapled to the helmet. That was...
So it was It read as a lot of things for me. I kept seeing something different when I saw it. It partially reminded me of, and I never watched this, but the reboot of Lost in Space. Have you seen what the alien robot, the robot, but it's kind of an alien robot, and that looked a lot like it. But also, it definitely feels Power Rangers 1 as well, new Power Rangers, I guess. So
yeah,
Krispy Kreme Power Rangers. And guys, we've talked a lot about this movie, Jiu Jitsu 2020, but I'd love for you to talk a little bit more specifically what you think would happen if you asked IMDb what the IMDb summary for the movie is.
My God.
I think this IMDb summary for this movie might even be better than the movie itself in terms of explaining what the movie's about. Is there some things I'm learning for the first time? Let's start with DJ. Since
I
you
believe
this.
I won New Mutants. Yeah,
and that.
Okay, all right. 9 warriors must stop an alien fighter who intends on destroying all life on Earth unless he can get honorable fights.
Okay, Diggins?
An ancient alien who handed the secrets of Jiu Jitsu down to the human race must be battled by 9 brave heroes every 6 years, or else he will destroy the planet.
Oh, that's a good one.
Diggins nailed it.
That's so good.
It's like the order's a little different, but that first bit, every 6 years, an ancient order of jiu-jitsu fighters joins together to battle a vicious race of alien invaders. But when a celebrated war hero goes down in defeat, the fate of the planet and mankind hangs in the balance.
Oh, it sounds like a way better movie than this one.
Right? That sounds so much better.
I mean, what do you think? I want to. So I found the comic, by the way. It does exist. It looks very different. But like it's the same thing. Jake McCall is a combat vet who now works as an assistant wrestling coach for a small college, right? Just like this movie, whose major claim is his wrestling team. He's married to a beautiful, caring wife and a precious 5-year-old boy. Has PTSD, or so he believes. One day, a rough encounter with an older man claiming to be Jake's real father sets off a long repressed memory. Jesus, this is long. Anyway, this is like giving me the whole. I just want the summary, please, of like a sentence. This is giving me like the entire plot of the movie. But it's basically they fight aliens. But yeah, I've never heard anything about this book. It's got a really solid 3 stars out of 5 ratings.
Based on how many reviews?
Oh, 5. 5 reviews.
There you go.
And this person who is the director is directed by someone named Dimitri Logothetis. He wrote this comic book. He was also the producer of a movie called Hard Bodies 2. I'm not going to click that. He was producer of Sleepwalkers, Body Shot, Club VR, Cheyenne. Don't know what those are. A show called Codename Eternity. A show called The Dark Realm. The Lost Angel Momo. Okay, and here we go. Kickboxer Vengeance produced. Kickboxer Retaliation produced. That was 2016, 2018. And then Jiu Jitsu in 2020. So it seems like this guy creates, mostly works on Kickboxer sequels, starring the man himself. So it seems like they get what's his name back for him, Jean-Claude Van Damme. So they're not off-brand necessarily, but who the hell knew there was even a Kickboxer sequel?
I did not know that at all.
I didn't know there was a Kickboxer movie.
Wait, really?
You never heard of Kickboxer? Oh, Kickboxer's good.
I've heard of kickboxing, the sport.
Yeah. You ever heard of Kumite?
Okay, that martial art or whatever. You mean that's not Kickboxer. That's
that's Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, that's it, yes.
Kickboxer's the other one. Sorry, I get them confused. I'm pretty sure Kickboxer, is that the one where he does the dance fighting?
Capoeira?
Well, no. It's worse. So yeah, that's what.
Worse.
So you may have seen this before if you've never seen the first Kickboxer. I'm putting it in the chat. We can all watch it at the same time. It's pretty terrific. Yeah, it's 2.5 minutes long. But so let me see. I think if you start it, you kind of get the gist pretty quickly. Let me know when you guys are ready, and we'll do the 3, 2, 1.
All right, I'm ready.
Right. 3, 2, 1. All right, so this movie came out sometime in the 90s, 89. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme, and so in this scene, he is drinking with some man in some, dusty old bar, probably in
He seems to
Japan.
be wearing some kind of garbage bag tied around his neck.
Yeah, it's not like a tank top.
So this guy put down some music, the man who he's talking to, and he's like, "Hey, dance with this lady." Now, what Jean-Claude Van Damme's character doesn't know, and maybe he does, is that some of the other tough customers in this bar are out to get him, and he is going to have to fight his way out of the bar. However, he's really enjoying the dancing. He's even got a second girl involved. Look at that dance move. Yeah.
She's just so into it that this other woman had to come up and dance with him.
He's got the 2 women here in the dance, although there might be a third woman who I can't quite make out.
The only 2 women in the entire bar.
Yeah. There's an older one over his shoulder, but definitely younger ones. And they're having a ball, and he's having a ball as well. And it's dancing, really, really weird dancing. It's a lot of butt. He's moving his butt around.
A lot of rump action going on here.
And a lot of clapping. It's like Elaine in Seinfeld, except if it was amazing. Because it's a lot of, like, there's upper body that seems relatively disengaged from lower body. Like, they're doing different dances. But he also does a wonderful split, as he's wont to do.
Another one.
Yeah. And that's the last straw for these tough guys.
They're like, you're going to do a split in my bar? I don't think so.
Yeah, and just you wait.
With these women.
A split to dick punch, really fun.
Yep.
And just like a lot of like kind of almost like not like drunken master, because that's not what it is, but a lot of like kind of silly, still having fun dancing, and not like dancing and fighting, but
he
fighting.
Was so ready to fight. By the way, he goes right from dancing to fighting like seamlessly. That's
Jean-Claude Van Damme for you, man. He's
JCVD, as they call him.
He's always ready. So yeah, this is Kickboxer, and they made sequels to this apparently that have one has Jean-Claude Van Damme in it. One does not have Jean-Claude Van Damme, or at least he is not highly billed in it, but it has an actor who you may recognize named Alain Mosey. Mosey? I don't know. Who is the main guy in this? So it seems like they got him from the Kickboxer Revengeance or whatever.
They poached him from the highly acclaimed Kickboxer franchise.
So he is. I'll bet. I don't know how much I want to put on this, but I'll bet he's the main guy's son or something, because it seems like he is in Vengeance, which is 2016. He is in Retaliation in 2018, and he is going to be in Armageddon whenever that comes out.
He does also have the same kind of weirdly undefinable accent that JCVD does.
So this guy is French Canadian and Lebanese. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy to lose an accent and all that. You know, like what does a French Canadian Lebanese accent sound like? He was born in Libreville, Gabon, but I don't know where that is.
It's the country of Gabon.
Gabon's a country? Oh, okay.
It's in Africa.
Never heard of that one. Yeah, so there you go. So that seems to be where he is from. But yeah, so he's the main guy. He's our titular Jake.
From State Farm.
Yeah, from State Farm. From DJ's sex dreams.
Listen, I love cactus.
Man,
I don't know what to tell
I have
you.
this movie playing without the sound, and without the sound on, it is really obvious how bad the editing is.
The editing's atrocious. The editing and the parts where they're not doing jujitsu are all terrible. The parts where they're doing jujitsu sometimes are even worse, but the parts where they're not are really, really bad. Because that's just characters trying to get to the next jujitsu, and it never makes any sense.
Yeah.
So how do we? What's the start for this movie, guys? What are we getting here?
It's very not clear. The opening credits are terrible.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if there's any action before the opening credits. I can't remember when Nicolas Cage finds man floating in water. But I'll just start with the credits because that's a good place to start. So they do this thing where they show clips of the movie, what it seems like at the front end of the movie.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
But I don't think those clips are actually in the movie.
One of them is.
There was some I was looking at. I'm like, is that ever in the movie? It's possible I forgot. But going back, it's just the various. Okay, let's say they all are. It's the various.
I think most of them are.
All right, so it's the various actors doing things that are going to be in the movie here, but they're all. It doesn't give anything away. It's just generic jiu-jitsu moves, if you will. And it's very long, and I couldn't believe how long it was.
None of the moves are jiu-jitsu moves, DJ. I want to be very clear about this.
Now, I have a question. The jiu-jitsu that they referred to that is passed down from aliens, is that the same jiu-jitsu as we know it, or is it this totally different thing?
Okay.
I think jiu-jitsu is like a pretty wide umbrella.
Most jiu-jitsu is a wide variety of martial arts disciplines based in Japan, not Burma. And however, when people talk about jiu-jitsu these days, they are typically referring to Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is a modern variant on it, created in Brazil. or like based on Brazilian martial arts also as well. I don't know exactly the provenance of it, but typically that is what people are referring to, and that is absolutely not what's going on here, nor is more traditional jiu-jitsu, but, you know.
Yeah, I think, like, the closest this movie gets to even kind of being, like, what jiu-jitsu is, or, like, kind of explaining jiu-jitsu is at one point a character says, and, it's like, remember, you have leverage. And I think that's part of jiu-jitsu is, like, using your enemy's strength against them and stuff.
Jiu-jitsu is very much about grappling. Like, that's, like, the main thing about it.
And this I feel like that, like, someone comes at you and you use their, you know, the more force they put into it, the less you do, and you use their force against them. That's, like, the main tenet of jiu-jitsu as far as I've heard. I don't know, maybe that's just pop culture jiu-jitsu, but
so
that's
anyway,
what I got from that scene with Nick Cage.
Yeah. It's not really like cool punches and kicks and shit. It's mostly just grapples and throws.
And it's like really, you know, it seems like not only as a martial arts discipline does it mean nothing in the course of this movie, but also, like, usually you could kind of figure out what's going on based on what weapons are being used or something like that. But this is, like, just everything. Because every weapon is used at one point or another. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like a video game.
Yeah.
It's like, it'd be cool if there was a guy with tonfas. Well, lucky you, there's a guy with tonfas.
Woo!
Are those a jiu-jitsu staple? Maybe they could technically use them for jiu-jitsu. But I guess, like, hypothetically, well, like, so the crew that's using jiu-jitsu, the crew of whatever, the team of 9, are they using jiu-jitsu, or are they just using whatever martial arts they want against jiu-jitsu?
Well, the alien is definitely not using jiu-jitsu, considering his repertoire is mostly, like, super speed and stabbing.
And getting stabbed, but it's fine.
And, right, health regeneration. And thermal vision, I guess, also is wrapped
kind
up
of.
Yeah.
He has, like, really bad thermal vision.
Yeah, he doesn't have Hollow Man thermal goggles. They're not that good.
No, not even close. And I think we're kind of dancing around to not get too kickboxery, but the one thing that this movie is, which is its Predator, right? Like, to an insane level, but with all the Predator stuff, if it was bad, because it has a weird, like, interface that you see through sometimes, and like, I don't know how this alien sees anything.
It's also, the Predator did not tip off the prey that it was coming, right? The Predator wasn't like, hey guys, I'm coming.
That depends on what Predator continuity you're messing around with.
Not true. But also, like, okay, so here is a big problem I have with this movie that makes it hard to, like, follow, which is it's never clear to me what the rules of this whole situation are.
Yes. Yes.
Because, like, at first they imply, like, the alien came here, taught everyone jiu-jitsu, and in return, every 6 years, we gotta fight him. Which makes it sound like it's this totally consensual thing. He comes for some sick fights, then he leaves. It's all cool. But also, if they don't do the sick fights, he kills everyone. But then also, it seems like he kills everyone in the sick fights anyway. But then also, it seems like they don't like the sick fights and they don't want to do them, even though they've been talking about them as this super cool, honorable thing. Like, what's going on here? Is this like a formal thing that you guys are cool with, or isn't it? What does he want out of you? What do you want out of him? The answer seems to change scene to scene.
No, they want jiu-jitsu, as we all know. That's the only one way to get the jiu-jitsu is with this deal with the alien, I guess. I think maybe as the people of Earth, we should get more jiu-jitsu out of this. Like, we're putting a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
And all we got was the gift of jiu-jitsu, which we don't really, you know... Like, this is a secret to most people, but it should not be. Because these 9 people pretty much shared the jiu-jitsu.
Also, like, I don't know who made the deal, but we're led to believe that this alien, Brax, I think is his name?
Yeah.
That Brax will destroy all life if he does not get his 9 fights. However, he's not indestructible. Like, I'm pretty sure if we, like, launched an RPG at Brax, he would explode. Right? Like, he's not invulnerable. So, I don't know, like, how much weight this deal holds.
I feel like he follows the general rules, which are, like, if you shoot him, he'll be better. If you like, shoot him with something better, or like if you shoot him, he'll be fine. He'll get better. If you shoot him with something really big, he won't die, but it'll take him a while to regenerate. And then if you cut his head off, he's probably dead. Like,
right.
We don't really do the basic stuff that you'd expect, but yeah.
Well, the problem we run into here is that the military division that seems to be here, they seem to have sent the one kung fu division instead of all the innumerable shoot with guns divisions that we have. And so it takes them forever to try shooting with a gun.
Right, and like we're able to use weapons against the jiu-jitsu monster and it doesn't care. Like we
But
can
it
use...
also uses like this is what I'm saying where it doesn't make sense. It's like later we see like a totally sanctioned before things went off the rails fight that he's got through this whole arrangement, and the way he does the fight is he picks the guy up by the throat and then stabs a sword through his head. And like that's not jiu-jitsu. What exactly does this alien want? Does he just want to kill people?
Well, he wants honorable fights. We're led to believe that he.
But how is stabbing people through the face with a knife an honorable fight?
Well, Diggins, beforehand, they both took their sword out, they put it on the ground, and they kneeled, and that was like, cool, sign of respect. I have a question. How... So this alien does not... Brax does not communicate to us. How was this deal proposed? Like the every 6 years thing? Like, how did we know? Like, was someone... Did they write it down? Was there a translator? I want to know when this first seemed to happen.
Maybe he knew like ancient Burmese, but got sick of learning new languages, and so he's like, they know what the deal is, whatever.
Also, like, is Brax is not the only one of these, right? Or is he the only one?
I don't know, because at the end, after something happens to Brax, the last line of the movie is "See you in 6 years."
Yeah. Like, so do the aliens even want to
guy?
do this, or are they also forced to out of like?
But it's said by a person who has absolutely no reason to know whether or not this would happen again.
I mean, I guess that's the question, like, well, how old is their aliens? Like, Brax can't be the original Jiu-Jitsu. There's no way. So
Why
they
not?
must be... I guess, their alien race lives thousands of years, I guess.
Well, why not?
All right, fair.
Have these guys done a jiu-jitsu before? Because it's only 6 years ago. Are these the same squad that did it last time?
Well,
no,
my understanding is that everyone who does the jiu-jitsu dies.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I thought
exactly.
too. So,
but what about, hasn't Nick Cage done a jiu-jitsu?
Well, yeah, but he
Yeah.
Like
well,
the fact that he lived is like unusual.
Yeah. What's the deal with that? Actually, I feel like that should be plan one. It's just fucking don't do it and see what happens. It doesn't seem like the aliens actually want to pull the trigger.
He would kill all life on Earth.
Yeah, but they don't. Like if Nicolas Cage fled,
maybe there was maybe they brought 10 people that year just in case.
Yeah. He was a real coward. Now, if the 6 people, like, who knows about the jiu-jitsu?
That's
like
a good question.
The competition, because if all 9 people die, who do they tell?
We don't know if it's a society or I don't even know what else it could be, like a government agency. Like, we have no idea. Is that, by the way, what the lady from Army Intelligence was there to find out? Was she there to find out about jiu-jitsu?
So we actually get clarity on this later. Well, clarity in big ass quotation marks.
Yeah. What is it? Because I'm curious as well.
The captain who was in like 2 scenes fought fought Brax
and was not part of the 9.
Died.
He was
not part of the 9. He's an army guy. He later shows up having not actually died yet. And he says, this was my military assignment, was to figure out what the fuck was going on with this alien dude, but no one else in my division knew about it. It was just me.
Oh, you're talking about what's his name? You're talking about the guy from Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he might be the only person that knew on Earth.
Well, outside of the 9, right?
Well, maybe he told him. Because, if his military division didn't know, and he knew, how did he find the others? Jiu-Jitsu message boards? Is a Reddit thread?
So, are these guys... So, the Jiu-Jitsu people, the 9, do they, live and train in Burma? Or are they from around the world and they came here for this?
We have no idea.
I read around the world just because they're all from different places, but also there's no consistent, like they all have different weapons and kind of different, I don't even think they all speak English, which some of them do, which is weird, but Like, I think it felt to me like in a world where the rules of the movie make a little bit more sense, the alien would pick 9 jiu-jitsu guys, give them a year to prepare, and they would have to do it. But it would just be like the 9 best jiu-jitsu guys from all over. Because that's what it felt like. But I guess our main guy,
maybe
Jake
just
from State
like
Farm, like he knows about it,
or well, he should, because we have a fucking amnesia plotline for no good reason.
Yeah,
and that adds nothing but confusion to the entire movie.
Yeah, I really, and his amnesia just shows up like in the last couple of days, right?
Well, he gets his big bang on the head, which that should have killed him. By the way, it's
well,
not clear how he survived that one.
Yeah, it's like the opening of the movie after the comet is him like falling off a cliff while extremely bad CGI shurikens are being thrown at him.
Yes.
Oh God, there is. Oh man, I took notes on things that I thought were ridiculous, but we'll get to that. I was going to say, in terms of people who know, so the old couple knows because it's like an ancient legend. So maybe this ancient legend is just passed down in this Burmese village, and all of them know.
Yeah. The tower is there, so hypothetically, at least the people around the tower would be like, something's up there. Every couple of years, a bunch of white people show up and start trying to fight the monster.
And then try to fight. We gotta clean up the corpses every year. It's a huge pain.
Yeah, that's why they were out on their boat. They were just waiting. They were on their boat, but I guess like they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to do a surgery soon.
Well, so hold on. Maybe I'm misremembering. I'm gonna go back and check this. But isn't Nick Cage with them when they find him?
Yes, he is. No, you're right about that. And so maybe you're thinking maybe he like brought him into the whole thing.
No, I think they kind of just know about it because from living here. But I don't know. I just wanted to be clear about what happened at the beginning there, because later revelations are made about Nick Cage's character.
Oh my God! Can we just say what they are? There's like no reason to hold back.
Hold on. Well, let's talk about the hat he's wearing. He is dressed like Raiden from Mortal Kombat in that scene. I just pulled it up. It's disgusting.
He has a rice patty hat
in Mortal Kombat.
I've heard it both ways. Oh, okay. Very good.
Wow, how pedantic of you, sir.
Well, they're different characters.
I mean, I guess maybe he's dressed like the other one. Who's the other guy? Kung Long? Or who's the guy that can spin his hat like a big old saw blade? Yeah, he's the cool one. But yeah, so he's with them when they get him, but I don't think he's around when they do the surgery.
No, he leaves after they pull him in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he just knew where the jiu-jitsu guy would fall. Okay, yeah, so this is a good time to talk about the jiu-jitsuing itself. So when they jiu-jitsu, so we've kind of determined it. So it's a martial art that was handed down to us by the aliens.
Yep.
Yes.
Do we know what do we have a race for the aliens? Like are they like the Romulans or something?
I don't think they ever give one.
Right? That's weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Maybe they'll fix that in the sequel.
In Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, no, Jiu-Jitsu's so much better.
Jiu-Jitsu, I think is the, or Tuju. No, that doesn't work. Something. I don't know. We're going to put a lot of twos in there. It's hilarious either way.
It's going to be 222.
Yeah, you'd never believe that the entire cast is available. We could do it again. We don't even need to mess around with schedules. We can mostly get this. But so they're doing so we got this like whatever, I don't know, martial art from the aliens. And like we've discovered, like we've talked about, it's nothing really it's all that special. It's just like it's not like whatchamacallit, like Dragon Ball Z where you can like shoot lasers or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of punching and kicking. Did we get all the martial arts from different aliens?
Oh my goodness. Humans can't do anything on their own.
Well, you'd figure, like, if one alien is giving us martial arts, the rest of them would too. Or if no alien... Yeah, like... Do you
it's
think
like the pyramids. The aliens gave it to us.
Well, but it's like this alien comes down and he's like, I have something, jiu-jitsu. And they would like, oh, it's like karate? He's like, what's karate? It's like, and they did some and he's like, oh, yeah, it's a lot like karate, actually. Or did jiu-jitsu been made back in the olden times, and then all the martial arts like kind of splintered off from jiu-jitsu. Maybe
the Burmese masters wandered the earth and they planted the seeds of martial arts throughout the entire planet.
I mean, they probably had to get us ready for the coming tournament or whatever the fuck we're calling this.
Oh yeah,
tournament. It's a tournament in Mortal Kombat where you fight 10 guys in a row.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat tournament. obviously.
But yeah, I think that makes sense. But yeah, we don't know what jiu-jitsu is. Like, as people, it's not known to us. Because like we aren't, not like it's not known to us. It is. We know what jiu-jitsu is. The alien also knows. Neither of us or the alien actually use jiu-jitsu as part of the thing.
Nope.
We just kind of do what's convenient at the time. Knives, like shooting it, whatever. I would say do you think, is the protagonist potentially doing the best jiu-jitsu maybe? Is that what makes him special?
No, I mean, he also just does like flippy kicks and punches and shit. Like again, jiu-jitsu is like entirely grapples and throws. If you're doing any kind of like contact that's not a grapple or a throw, it's not jiu-jitsu.
That's a good point. It's a great point.
Yeah, I feel like he just has Chosen One vibes. Like, that's really how I read that.
Yeah. And, like, is he the leader of them when he's not all bonked on the head?
When he's not all convenient, or I should say extremely inconvenient amnesia?
Yeah. But then,
can I ask, what was the point in the narrative of having the amnesia? What did that provide to the movie?
So, like, in an amnesia movie, especially one where it's not a big part of the movie, like, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. You'd assume it's just an excuse to exposition more, where, like, it's like, I have to explain to you jiu-jitsu. However, the movie doesn't know what the jiu-jitsu is. And the movie also doesn't, like, the characters don't all seem to know what the jiu-jitsu is. So, like as things start going and he has to be like, wait, why is there an alien? None of the explanations are particularly satisfying. So, you know, in a better movie, like God, what's a movie where a character, like X-Men 1, where Wolverine kind of has amnesia so that everyone is like, this is but like, that's not exactly what it is. But like something like that, where a character could be like, you don't even know what the X-Men are. Here's what they are. That's a good way to introduce, like, it's a lazy way, but that's one of the ways to introduce the audience to foreign concepts.
Yeah, but instead, every time he's like, huh, what's this? They're like, you don't know what this is? Yes, you do. And then they don't explain it.
Yeah. And, like, a lot of characters have those moments with him. Like, I don't even know what her name is. What's the name of the lady who runs the army? Or kind of.
I don't recall.
Can I do a quick sidebar just about the army people real quick?
Sure.
The worst dressed army people ever is the least convincing army I've ever seen.
DJ, I'm pretty sure they all wear jumpsuits no matter what they're doing at all times. Unless they're not their lady, then they don't.
And they all wear full face masks, so you can't tell that they're just random locals as extras.
Yeah.
That's
or
all
the
I got.
same stuntman over and over and over again. So
yeah,
her name is Myra, apparently.
Apparently.
She is, like, not a good actress. Not good miss, at least.
I mean, it's true, but, you know.
Oh, she's quite bad. Like, she's
it's not like she compares unfavorably to everyone else in the movie.
I think she might be the worst next to the main character. I think she's her and the main character both being the first two characters you meet is a real, like, big hurdle that this movie has to clear. Is just having these two guys talk to each other, and then eventually, like, the actors, like Nicolas Cage, who like I don't love him in this, but, you know, he's an actor, like Frank Grillo, Tony Jaa, all these guys show up, and you're like, oh, never mind, this is what it's supposed to be. It's crazy that for most of the first 25 minutes of the movie, it's just these two being like, what's going on? Why are you in here? And he's like, I don't know, I have
It's just
amnesia.
two characters going like, what's going on? I don't know. What's going on? I don't know. What's going on?
And then she walks into her room and she's like, sorry. She says he doesn't know what's going on, but I think he knows more of what's going on than he's letting on. I'm going to torture him by, like, being around, I guess, and asking him questions more.
Yeah, my torture just involves asking him what's going on some more.
And some, like, sexual chemistry that not only goes nowhere because it doesn't exist, but also, like, what even happens to her?
She just fucking dies. Halfway
Does
through,
she?
she just,
okay.
Like, when he falls down the pit into Nick Cage's house, she gets, like, hit in the heart with a shuriken, and, like, that's just it. That's the last time we see it.
That's insane. Because, yeah, that's what I kind of gleaned from it as well, but I couldn't tell if that was just something I missed.
There's a lot of things in this movie where I'm like, what happened exactly to that person? Like, you blink and you miss some shit.
I mean, there's really no reason for the military people to be in this movie at all. They add absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Well, you get, what's his name? You get some hand grenades. If you need a hand grenade or two later, who knows, maybe.
Okay.
We get texts. Now, I'm not saying it's a good purpose, but that is the purpose they serve.
Solely to get that one character there so he can hand off a hand grenade and do nothing else.
Well, he's the comic relief, guys. He's so funny.
Oh, my
What's
God.
the joke with him? Can he understand the language or not?
He kind of knows it, but he's not good at it.
But
It'd be like if I tried to translate Spanish for you. I'd be like, okay at it, but I would not be good.
But he was comically bad.
Yeah, I feel like he oscillated between like competence and the opposite of the thing. So it'll be like
sometimes I felt like he was not. It's not that he was being bad at it; it's that he was deliberately fucking with them.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I couldn't tell either.
I think that's a joke you can make. But I know what you're talking about. That one bit where he's like, they say go directly into the place or something like that, where he's giving bad advice on purpose.
She needs to stretch a lot. She should be stretching up and down all the time. She should never not be stretching.
But so to give people an idea, they find what's his name, Army Man, kickboxer or whatever. He's around. He gets interrogated for a while. He escapes, but then is back. What happens there?
Then we get some more interrogation.
Yeah, but like, so do you remember, like, I guess like she stabs him with amnesia and then he gets more amnesia?
No, she stabs him with a truth serum is what she says
Oh,
it
that's
is.
Right.
But that's not what it is, right?
No, but that's what it is.
But like it knocks him out. He falls asleep.
Or maybe she stabbed him with a sedative and then later stabbed him with a truth serum. I don't know.
I think that's it. But because she does a Last Jedi Arya Stark like hand drop move, which like that's not a real thing, right? It can't be. It's too obvious. It would never happen in real life.
I don't know. Maybe it would work.
Yeah.
But like so there's something about it where I'm just like, it's got to be a crazy. I guess it's a high risk, high reward kind of thing, because if you just drop your lightsaber on the floor, then you don't get it back. But I feel like it's happened in 3 movies, including this. Like, well, I guess Game of Thrones, this, and Last Jedi. And in every one, I'm like, that's clever of a move, is it? But it's clever enough to beat Jiu Jitsu Man when he's Jiu Jitsuing at his highest like amnesia levels, where it's just like, I have to get out of here, and he beats the hell out of one guy. But also, then this girl doing Jiu Jitsu, like doing the syringe drop, kind of made me think she's part of Jiu Jitsu or something.
She was good at it, but I think
it's
Diggins'
very clear
point,
later that she's not.
Yeah,
true. But I think, to your point, Diggins, that this was just the Army's Kung Fu unit. A real thing that exists. No, just kidding.
Because this guy it's like beating people up. It's starting to break out, and instead of threatening him with their guns, they all go up to do kung fu on him.
Now, to be fair, some of them shoot their guns, but like wildly miss.
Yeah.
Well, some say they're issued guns because they're in the military, but they don't know how to use them because they're the kung fu unit.
Do you guys remember when it's I forget when in the movie this happens, but
this is when Tony Jaa is showing up. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Okay, it's Tex, or Jake from State Farm, and Myra, the girl. And they're like running through the woods, but it's that bad, like they're clearly in front of a green screen and there's just like shaky camera footage all behind them, and they're doing that like running in place shit. Do you guys have any idea what I'm talking about?
No, I'm thinking of a different thing. Is this
okay?
I mean, is this after
this is later.
They counter the full crew?
This is when the alien attacks the military people.
For the first time, I think, right?
Yeah.
Well, then, okay, so
I think I know what Nando is going to say.
Okay,
and,
what?
That part is fucking insane,
awful.
And I love it.
Never mind.
Bad.
I know.
That got a full guffaw out of me.
Hardcore Harry?
Henry.
Like,
hardcore
even
Henry.
worse, Hardcore Henry. Because, this was brought to my attention by when we were talking about, like, the guns, and I was like, yeah, the guns are a couple different things. Sometimes a bullet is a muzzle flash. Sometimes it's just a sound effect. And sometimes it's like in the Transporter movies where it's like a big giant beam of light. But
just emerging off the left side of the screen, no matter
where exactly like that. But yeah, so the Maya, whatever her name is like, we should talk to him. I have a different approach. Let's make him free. So we can have a chit chat, and then they have the chit chat. But then Tony Jaa, Assassin's Creed's in there, And by Assassin's Creed, I mean blends in with the priests and walks with his head down. And
Even
then
though he looks nothing like them, the only similarity is that he has like a hood over his head, even though it's a different color and his clothes are totally different.
Well, it's funny because this is another comic transition where it like transitions via comic books, like comic book panels. And the transition is from like an outside house, and then it kind of like the camera pans over the page to 4 monks walking, and like as it becomes the real moment of like when it transitions from like a drawing to the real world, he appears. Like he is just drawn out of the image. Otherwise, it would be 4 monks walking and a guy with big black army boots and black pants, because you could see him.
Yeah, like
it's a fantasy that this thing is creating. But yeah, he blends in by like kind of walking slowly, and he has a hood even though the monks don't have hoods on. Now, is this a Jiu Jitsu outfit or something?
Oh, dude, fuck if I know, dog.
Because they all wear it. This like hood plus long sleeveless, very light coat plus other like bits and pieces. And part of me was like, maybe that's like Jiu Jitsu training clothes. But okay, so Tony Jaa comes in and he starts kicking everybody. He kicks like 15 guys in a row, including one guy who is fumbling for his gun for so long.
Dude, okay, I'm glad you said this. This is a note I took. So I thought I saw it, and I'm like, no, that can't be right. If you go back, I took it down. It's at minute 20, second 20. So 2020 when this happens. This
is the 2020 of movies as well. Yeah.
He's fumbling for his gun for so long. And at one point, he just starts scratching at the holster, not even going for the handle. Because the sequence is so long from when he's like being attacked to when he tries to pull out his gun. It's hilarious. If you could go back to around 2020 and find it, it's such a good laugh.
Yeah, and like it's part. I think maybe I have a higher expectation in general for movies when it comes to fight scenes with big groups of guys, where you could get away with it in like the old days of like Bruce Lee movies, or even like a Quentin Tarantino movie that's a homage to a Bruce Lee movie. But if you're gonna have a bunch of guys fighting you one at a time, you got a good reason for why the other guys are fighting at the same time too. And this really feels like an extra who like forgot what to do or something, or like forgot his marking, so he just fumbled with his gun for 10 seconds.
And they kept the take.
Yeah,
just like go for it.
And it almost reads in the moment like Tony Jaa's like, you have a line or something with his eyes, and the guy's like, and he's like, all right, I'll just fight you.
I'll just scratch at my holster. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Now, to be fair to the movie, kind of, Tony Jaa is cool, and he is good.
Cool.
He's great at this. He's wonderful. Ong Bak, what's the other one? He did Ong Bak, and he did another famous like martial arts movie, and they're all great. He's so much better than this.
I mean, I would say. Same thing for Frank Grillo and Nick Cage, right? They're better than this movie.
I don't know about Nick Cage. Or I don't know about...
Nick Cage is not better than any movie.
Yeah.
I mean, is he the world's greatest actor? Yes. But he is not better than any movie.
Yeah, I agree. What's the other... I don't know what the other movie he's... Oh, The Protector. That's the other one. It's confusing because it came out around the same time. But anyway, yeah, he's cool. And he is also in... Like we said, Fury 7. Also in Triple X Return is Xander Cage, a movie I've seen, but I don't remember well enough to say where he shows up in it. But anyway, so he does all kinds of cool jiu-jitsu through this, like, jiu-jitsu arena. Kind of, like it looks like... You ever seen movies they make, like videos, where they'll have a stunt actor go through, like, a stunt course that is, like, a gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that. But he's good at it and doing punches and kicks and stuff and flips.
So many punches.
And it's this big one-take thing, except, like, it's not, but whatever. The takes are, the cuts are pretty obvious, but I didn't expect that much from it, so I'm fine with it. But then so it turns out he is there not to, I guess as maybe we would assume if we didn't know what was going on, kill Jake, as he is there to protect Jake, because he's the protector. Or at least, like, rescue Jake. Oh my God! Do you guys remember the time when the bullets went like in bullet time? Like they made like ripples through the air.
Oh,
so
this movie.
So Jake is a target. So everybody's like, "We gotta protect Jake." And Tony Jaa's like kicking all the guys, and you figure they'd be able to kill him, but whatever. He's really, really good. He is like one of the best movie martial artists, so whatever. It is funny how he disarms Maya. He just trips her, and she's just sitting there.
Yes. She just like falls over and then like doesn't get up for a solid 10 seconds. And then when she does get up, she just kind of like waddles into the building.
Yeah.
Like, get back up. We have one man doing kung fu. No one can shoot him with their guns.
We don't have guns to take care of him.
But then Jake joins in the action. And DJ, what happens next?
Oh my God. So now that Jake gets in, we have to have a different perspective on the movie, right?
That's
so
right.
we go into a pretty bad Hardcore Henry sequence. If anyone remembers Hardcore Henry, it was like a full first-person movie, and we get first-person kung fu action, and it sucks.
It's really bad.
It's awful.
There's one bit that's like a video game, because it does feel like an Uncharted or something, although like a first-person one of those.
Version.
Yeah, where like the guy is like, come on, we gotta go this way, and he does like the over-the-shoulder, like... but then... And I will never forgive the movie for this. So we're doing Hardcore Henry, right? And it's like Tony Jaa slowly punching one guy to death. And then he tosses him over to our Jake, the heroic Jake, who... And it takes you a second to realize this. I think in the moment we are watching the movie through his eyes. But then we like see his arms clearly doing, jiu-jitsu moves. And it's like, oh, okay. That's something. And, it's cool. It's different. It's not nothing. But then so this happens 23 minutes and 36 seconds into the movie. Jake drops the camera and it falls to his side, and then we see Jake, and the whole fight continues with Jake in view, and then Jake rolls and kicks back, and now Jake is the camera again.
Yeah.
It's such a bizarre choice.
Unbelievable.
There was a second where I'm like, oh, is it a new person who's our POV now? I was so confused.
Well, I think I said this out loud because, like, this scene starts, the first I was watching, I was like, what the heck? And then I'm like, we are Jake. And then Jake drops the camera, and I'm like, whoops, Jake. Who's going to help now? Like, but did either of you guys watch my favorite movie of last year, the zombie one?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
You're going to have to be more specific.
So I don't want to get too specific. It was called One Cut of the Dead. It's really like one of my favorites. And it came out last year, and it's not worth explaining. Not like it's not worth explaining.
No. I've only seen the sequel to Cut of the Dead.
No, you missed the good stuff. But no, yeah, this is like, it's a really terrific movie. But I'll say to people that have seen One Cut of the Dead, this seems a lot. There's one bit where I'm like, holy shit, they did the thing that One Cut of the Dead does, but like not with the context. And this happens a couple times where like Jake drops the camera, because there's also a big fight scene where like in like a bit of hay where we see Tony Jaa and Jake doing fighting together, and that is facilitated by Jake dropping the camera again. Do you remember the bit where Jake puts his fists up in front of the camera?
Yes, that's not how you do fisticuffs. It's not.
No, it's like a VR game. It's like he's playing like, Beat Saber. It's like playing Fight Night or one of the punching games where it's like your fists both have to be in front of your face at all times, otherwise you forget they exist.
I'm like, do you know how blocking works? Like, a kickboxer would, like, hate you. Be like, that's not how you block, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Honestly,
you would get dropped like Jake Paul, well, like Nate Robinson. You get dropped like Nate Robinson.
The worst part for me is when someone, like, shoves their gun to the left of his face.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to take it, but he seems like he's doing a bad job of it. And he just kind of, like, they just kind of both stand there for a few seconons until he gets it.
Well, I think part of it, the trouble of this scene is Tony Jaa is incredible at this, and this guy is pretty good. But they can't do the same thing at the same like level of proficiency.
Right.
So some of this stuff seems unimpressive compared to the other stuff. But also, like, it's just tough to stage stuff like this. And it's like, yeah, you don't do it unless you can do it really, really, really well.
Well, and the problem is, like, every scene has too many people, right?
Yeah.
Like, it like, we should not have this many people to have to focus on. That's just, it's bad.
It's so many people that the perspective like throws up and gets a new guy. A new person, cameraman, is invented when the first person doesn't work. But
it's almost like instead of having this whole dumb military subplot that means nothing, we should have focused on just the jiu-jitsu guys so we could have known anything about them as people.
Yeah, fleshing that out would have been nice.
Or it's almost like instead of going over the out of your way to choreograph insanely complicated first and second person jiu-jitsu, just fucking use normal editing and make it look amazing.
Right.
The novelty wears off pretty quickly, and then you're just kind of left watching it. But you could it's weird that they made Tony Jaa boring to watch or silly to watch, because it's that's how movies work. But okay, so Tony and Jake escape, and they walk through a field of tall grass, or whatever.
and then the other jiu-jitsu people just stand up in the middle of the grass.
They appear. And almost like Tony didn't even tell Jake what was they're gonna show up. Don't worry. He was just you'll walk into this specific. We'll hit the X, and it'll look so cool when they spring up from nowhere. So
it kind of feels like Tony knew they were around there, but wasn't sure exactly where. And so eventually they just stand up, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yes, this is what I was looking for."
Very, very true. But yeah, they. So who are our three characters? Who do our wandering eyes do appear? We got Crossbones. He's here, baby. He's also got a silly shirt thingy vest on, whatever.
Yeah, and he's our gruffest member of the crew.
He's the one who seems.
Sunnies.
He's also the one who seems vaguely mad at Jake from State Farm a little bit. Even though when you find out what happens, you realize they should all be kind of mad at him.
Yeah. Well, the girl's kind of in love with him, kind of.
Yeah, I think they are together. Think they were dating. He just doesn't remember because of his amnesia.
That's right. So I guess their relationship where she forgives him immediately makes sense. It also kind of seems like the third guy, who I refer to as Stickman, it seems like Stickman is maybe his best friend. So he's also willing to everybody's ride or die for Jake except for Crossbones. But yeah, Stickman has a stick. It's not good. The stick is easily the worst individual CGI bit in the movie.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what it was.
Did you notice this, by the way? I wrote this down. When he was doing some of the slow-mo bits with the stick, he had a really dorky smile on his face, and it looked so awkward. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I do. Well, his look in general never quite worked for me.
It just read odd. I'm like, why are you smiling? You're, gonna die. This was, I don't know, it was just odd to me. A lot of them had, weird facials during some of the slow-mo bits. But I think slow-mo does that to you, so unless you have a great cinematographer, you gotta fucking be good. What?
Nando and I are having the same thought. I can tell. We've mind melded on this one.
Different movie than we did.
Well, you know what? It's because he was feeding the dog. Yeah, it's on his mind.
Oh, you guys are the worst. Oh my god, you children.
All right, so Stick Guy. So the other thing about Stick Guy is sometimes the stick goes through his clothes.
Yes.
Sometimes it does that thing where Elsa brushes her hair through her shoulder, and it's the animators missed it. But I honestly think the animators just had too much to do, and they were just the stick goes wherever the fuck he wants it to go. I don't know. We only have one take. This is a long take. So, okay, let's talk about everybody's weapons. So, yeah, we got Stickman.
Yeah. Stickman's got a stick. Looks the worst. However, the dumbest weapon is easily the girlfriend's.
Yeah. Oh, the little wrist bow thing?
The little, wrist crossbow that's just a piece of elastic stretched across her forearm that she, pulls back and launches metal bolts with.
Oh, yeah,
I thought it was supposed to be magic, but it's not magic. It's, just explosives.
Yeah. Wait,
there's no magic in this movie,
right? Or something?
She also has nunchucks, but the wrist crossbow is the dumb one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's dumber than knives. What's his name has throwing knives.
Listen, at least knives are a real thing that would work.
Yeah, that's true. Those are pretty bad. What's the best one? Who has the best weapon?
The swords.
Nah, Satanfas. Satanfas are amazing. Now they're PVC pipe spray painted silver. And they look terrible, but he's so cool with them. The thing with the tonfas, and I guess you kind of get at this with a nunchuck girl, because I think she's really using nunchucks in those fights, but you could do some cool stuff where you, like, catch a sword with your tonfa and then spin the tonfa around and grab it from the other end and use that to smack somebody. They're a really cool weapon. Like, I don't know why this guy didn't bring them to the breakout, like, but he does get... Tony Jaa is given them for this new fight scene where everyone shows off their thing.
I think it is a little unfair. I mean, the weapon that looks the coolest is going to be whichever one Tony Jaa uses.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even if it was the wrist crossbow?
Well, you can't use that in hand-to-hand combat. How is he going to incorporate that?
Maybe this was in his rider. Maybe it's like, give me first pick at weapons.
Yeah, I don't want to look... Do you think he knew this movie was going to be bad? Must have, right?
Maybe. I don't know too much about Tony Jaa besides he does cool martial arts stuff.
I feel like Tony Jaa's experience of filming any movie is the same, which is he goes on set and the director's like, okay, do some cool stunts, please.
Yeah.
You know why you're here.
Like, if you go to... There's a shot, 31 minutes and 20 seconds into the movie where he, doing nothing really exceptional, just does a tonfa flip in slow motion, and it's the only slow motion thing that I'm like, dope. I don't know what it is. I think tonfas are cool. I think maybe it's also we just never see them and stuff. Like, they don't...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So, do they have those now? Because they didn't used to, right?
Am I mistaken?
It was... No, but I think they have... I think they're in the new one.
Wait, hold on. We can do this.
Okay.
Leonardo has a sword.
He's got the wrist... He's got the wrist arrow dynamite.
Michelangelo has nunchucks.
Nunchucks. Yeah, it's sword nunchucks.
Raphael has
size.
And Donatello has the quarterstaff, or bow staff.
Whatever.
So, like, they relaunched the Turtles, and they gave them all new powers. So, like, I want to say, like, Raphael has the power that Armor has from X-Men comics, where she makes a big, like, what's the word? Like, translucent version of herself that she can punch with. And I want to say maybe Leo gets tonfas.
Raphael has a stand now?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. It's weird. But I think that's a thing. But I want to say they retconned away the stabby weapons, or, like, just figured a way to get rid of them. Because, like, it always seemed weird that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles could either bonk on the head or cut their villains in half.
Right.
And they never did that second thing.
In the cartoon, Leonardo and Raphael only ever, like, kick people instead of using their stabby weapons.
Instead of slicing them.
Yeah. So I think they've given them new... I'm trying to... Because, like, Nickelodeon is a new show, and the animation's kind of cool. I've seen bits of it.
It's that new, like, cel-shaded... That's the wrong word, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Vectory kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those businesses.
I don't know why it's so hard for me to find a shot of the actual Ninja Turtles in this Ninja Turtle cartoon. Okay, it's
why
called Rise of the Ninja Turtles. But yeah, so somebody has tonfas, and that's a good thing because they are a cool weapon, and also they're useful in this context. Oh, Raphael has tonfas, and he can also do the armor thing. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, tonfas are dope. Here's the weirdest thing about this scene that I still don't completely get.
Okay.
This scene ends with our hero getting kidnapped again.
Yeah. The military just gets him back. So
and
the
for no
alien,
reason, right? Like
the alien shoots him with a big electric blast, and he like gets knocked out. And Myra and Tex happened to be watching, and they just scoop him up.
Like, where are his dudes? Aren't they?
And also, why did we go through all the trouble having a scene where he escapes for the military just to send him back at the military 5 minutes later?
Such a good question.
And aren't there, like, there's more dudes. There's more Jiu Jitsu friends, because obviously there have to be 9. But even if you don't count, like, take Nick Cage and Jake out of the equation, there's a couple others that I don't know where they are at this point. But if what they're doing now is a rescue mission and save one of the 9, it feels like this is an all hands on deck kind of situation. But I don't know, maybe I'm crazy because they are clearly the masters of jiu-jitsu, and that's not what they do. But yeah, he gets captured again and shows up in like the interrogation chamber again. Almost like they had an extra scene that they forgot they hadn't done anything with yet. And they really tried hard to figure out where to put this. So then we do Predator for a little bit. The Predator comes and kills all the army guys.
As you're wont to do.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. And so this is when, because now what's his name from Fast 1 shows up, and this is when we see the Predator for the first time. It's awful. It's terrible.
It looks really bad.
How would you describe it? I think Power Rangers is it's like a rocky Power Ranger, so like a dirty Power Ranger.
Yeah.
But how would you describe the mask and like the face?
So it's kind of like a motorcycle helmet you added some bits of metal to, so it's not just a pure like face shield. And then sometimes the face shield part glows and you see a comic book panel underneath it.
Yeah, it's actually basically what it is.
Yeah, he like does like a little snort of like gas or whatever, and that's when it fogs up and you see his weird little face. He has a very large nose and little beady red eyes. And that's kind of it, because it's only like half of the face is what you see. It's hard to explain. Anybody that needs to, like, it's helpful to look this up, I guess, just so you can know what this is.
Assuming you haven't already watched this masterpiece.
Oh,
of
yeah,
film.
assuming you haven't already watched it.
Yeah.
So then the alien does Baraka and makes a big arm sword to fight the guy from Fast and Furious 1. And what does guy from Fast and Furious 1 do to challenge the arm sword?
He pulls out like a chain gun and just obliterates him.
It's amazing.
It's such a good move. Like, that's like a really smart move.
Like, would it have worked if this killed the thing? Would this have like been acceptable?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, we have much more technology today than we did,
2,000 years ago.
Yeah. By the way, I realize there's no way he comes back because the lady says you've ended a 2,000-year epoch. So.
Yeah, but how does she know?
All right. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
So, jury's out on whether or not they come back. But anyway, we have a lot more technology than 2,000 years ago. I'm sure we could, like, any combination of flamethrower, miniaturized nuke, tank. Just run a tank over him. Well, he has super speed. Then you blow him up. Drones. We have so much technology at our exposure. Disposal. Oh my God.
There you go. He got there, folks. He got there.
We have been exposed to so much technology by other alien races and new forms of martial arts.
So all I'm saying is that we could take out Brax and all of his buddies.
I think so.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Well, and this is where we get... So what are some of Brax's powers? What can he do?
Well, Diggins said super speed. We mentioned the healing factor.
What else? Besides, I guess he can form a sword out of his arm.
Yep.
He can also shoot...
Throw a bunch of really bad CGI shurikens at high speed.
Miss. They all miss.
Well,
not all of
Cut
them.
the gun in half at one point.
And a bunch of them kill a bunch of the extras.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They have, if you have plot armor, they just zoom right past you.
Unless you're Myra and the movie decides we don't need you anymore, and then you just fucking die.
It gets her good.
But, like, I thought for sure Tex was going to get annihilated by these fuckers, but nope.
Yeah, I don't know how he made it out.
Like, they're all just running around. They're not trying to dodge the thing. The inconsistencies, man. I mean, I guess you're not coming to this movie for fucking consistency.
What's the other superpower this has that I think is the stupidest one? It comes up quite a few times.
I'm failing. It's not the thermal vision, right? That's not the one you're...
No, but you're close.
Yeah, I'm really at a loss.
He has, like, the ability to do, like, a heat touch thing.
Oh, yeah.
Burn your skin, but not really. Like, he does, but it's not, like, that big of a deal. Sometimes it kills you, but he's usually just a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, when he does it to the villain from Fast and Furious 1, it seems like it does kill him, but it takes like 12 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a prolonged death touch, is what you're saying.
Other characters will get death touch during the fight, and it'll kind of like incapacitate them. I think like if the guy picks up your skull with it, you're dead. But like it's weird because I don't know what he wants out of this. But if it had a sword, if he had a sword,
he wants his honorable fights,
right? But so what's this?
He doesn't fight very honorably.
Yeah.
Well, maybe their culture, alien culture, it's different. You know, honor is subjective or whatever.
I mean, he's the one who is part of his own culture, so we have to take his culture at face value.
Again, and we never hear from Brax, so, you know, we don't know what the deal is, you know.
Yeah, what's Brax's side of the story here?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's giving them every opportunity to not die from him. Maybe he doesn't want to kill any of them.
But he just feels like they kind of expect it, so he's got to, put in an effort.
Well, and that's their whole life, right? Like, if you
can
only
you imagine if, like, on his side, like, at this point, he's like, oh, God, I know I promised these guys I would come and do these sick fights and kill them every 6 years, but I'm getting so sick of this.
You think he's over it?
Well, or like a Tucker and Dale versus Evil situation where, like, all these jiu-jitsu guys keep jiu-jitsuing themselves to death, and he's just around for it. Like, the military's killing some of the guys, and, like, he wants them to stop, but he doesn't speak their language, so, yeah, it doesn't work.
He feels bad that he has to come over he thinks they want to die. It's like the alien race from Rick and Morty who, like, they get ultimate afterlife if they're killed by a great warrior.
Yeah. But okay, so everybody runs away from the alien as it kills the guy from Fast 1, but not really. And the girl, Maya, is killed. Very sad. I mean, who knows? But our hero, Jake, instead of just continuing to walk through the jungle like you would expect, what happens to him?
He falls into Nick Cage's house.
Yeah.
What? Nick Cage,
know, right?
Why does he live here?
Good question. It's
Good
not
question.
made immediately clear.
The movie won't answer it for about half an hour.
And so, Nick Cage's house, who wants to take a shot at describing that?
I want to yield to Diggins.
Okay.
How
does Nicolas Cage live?
So he lives in essentially a cave. However, in this cave, he's got, like, modern furniture, a chair, a full piano. He seems to get newspapers because he's making newspaper hats.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
What was that?
A full-length mirror. I don't know. Maybe IKEA delivers to the Burmese jungle. But however it happened, he's got his whole sweet setup here.
Yeah, it kind of looks like if you lived on Tatooine or something, and then a neighbor from Earth had a yard sale, and you just bought everything. Put it in your little Tatooine hut. Because it is just, like, out-of-place furniture. Wooden, seemingly not Burmese furniture. I mean, the piano, who knows where the piano's from. But, yeah, he lives in, like, a place with, like, fire for light, too. He doesn't have electricity or anything. He's just... True. And he's just hanging out, waiting for a good old challenge, kind of... I guess. I mean, he's waiting for something else, but, like, when Jake comes up, they have a fun fight.
Yeah, it's...
Is it the best part of the movie?
No.
I think it might be. Really?
It's up there.
I actually think the Nicolas Cage fight with Brax is better.
Mm-hmm. I think this one's better because it's, like, it feels intentionally silly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Brax fight is, like, accidentally silly. It's,
like
really bad, too.
Like, during this fight, Nick Cage is, like, doing, like, goofy off-the-wall shit, and you're like, oh, okay, this is someone who, like, knows how... This is someone with charisma, finally.
Yeah,
finally, somebody who's doing a performance where I'm like, oh, something's happening here.
And I think this is one of the... shockingly, because this fight is a fight between probably a real martial artist and either a stuntman or sometimes Nicolas Cage, they have the benefit of editing. And they managed to edit the fight in a way that makes it not stupid. There are some pretty cool shots in this fight. There's one bit where the dude does a kick over Nicolas Cage's head in slow motion, and you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah, way
to go, buddy. And Nicolas Cage answers that with the little newspaper hat bit. Like, it's kind of... It's a good flow.
There's even some good, like, narrative beats in here. Like, when he almost hits him with the stick, and then he pulls... then Jake tries to pull on the stick a little bit, and he realizes that it's actually sheathing a sword. And you're like... It's like a fun moment. You're like, sword. And then also a moment of like, oh, he's not really trying to kill me, or he'd be using this fucking sword.
Yeah, and then that changes the dynamic of the fight, because now... Nicolas Cage has a sword, but this guy has the sheath of the sword to fight the sword with. And, like, I don't know. I think if the director, whoever, I already forgot his name, but if he just was like, he shot this scene as a pilot almost for this movie to kind of proof of concept and never talked about any of the alien stuff or any of the army stuff and was just like, it's a movie where these two guys fight. I could see a studio giving him $10 million and be like, all right, yeah, you make this. This seems like it's going somewhere. Also, I pulled $10 million out of my ass. I don't know how much this movie costs. Let me see how much this movie costs to make. What do you guys think?
I was gonna say, I agree with both your points, and it made me think as I was watching this. Now, I don't know that how talented the people who are making this movie is. I don't want to be mean, but do you think this movie might have been better as like a limited run TV series where it's like based on the comic book and they can deep dive into how Jake's a wrestling coach and, you know, don't get like Nicolas Cage and Tony Jaa, but get like other people. Maybe it's better.
I don't. The quality of the writing in this is indicative of the quality of the writing in the comic book, I have a hard time seeing that.
Yeah, that's true. If the director of the movie and the writer of the comic book weren't the same guy, I'd maybe be like, yeah, you know what? There's something here. People have to do Predator. Like, it's a Predator movie where they have to do Jiu Jitsu and whatever, various martial arts to an alien, and the alien is just like kind of Kill Bill the Bride, picking off them one by one. And because it does seem like there is some sort of like home life. So maybe you could have a little bit where this guy's just a guy and you get a little history of violence like, oh, Jason Bourne, what's his deal? I could see this working as a series, but I think it could work just as well as a movie. This movie just needs to, like, there's a thing, I forget what it's called. There's something in movies called the show Bible. And I think this movie, or it's like in television shows usually, but this desperately needs a show Bible. Just some sort of rules or like something to keep the movie consistent. In a TV show, it's usually season to season, but it's like scene to scene. There needs to be some sort of guiding document.
Right.
So it's really just like a show page or a book of the Bible. But yeah, I feel like we need that so that we can figure out. With that, I think this movie could work. But also, I mean, we just watched this movie and it's bad, so maybe it could never have worked. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's doomed no matter what.
Like I think martial arts movies, like with John Wick and like movies where the actor does the stunts, like those are popular. People like them. So there's like hope for a movie where people do John Wick to aliens. Like that seems like that.
Yeah,
could
like
happen.
I could see that working.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you
Wick
want this as a series?
Is John Wick
if it was
blank
good.
The new Die Hard on a blank?
Yeah, kind of. It's like I'm trying to think. It's like I wonder if it is John Wick or John Wick was part of the blank but blank conundrum. Because I think it's even like I don't want to say like you can trace this movement back to any specific martial arts film, but I'm thinking like The Raid or something, just like a very technical action movie.
Or the movie The Raid is based on, Dread.
Sure, yeah. Or the movie The Raid is based on, Dread. But yeah, just like something where you give the technicians are the people that are making a lot of the other creative decisions, and the movie's like story and stuff just facilitates cool action moments. And it has a story, but you're there for what you're there for. Like I think that as a subgenre existed a little bit before John Wick, but it is new. And I think this could be part of that. But I think it's not. Nicolas Cage seems to think it is. Like,
I mean, I think this was a paycheck. Like, let's be honest.
I think like his guy is part of a different series of movies. Almost. Like, his guy seems like he's part of the good version of these movies where, like, it's kind of silly, you know? Like, I don't think you could take... I don't think this premise works if all of the characters in the movie take it seriously.
You need, like the goofballs who are like, oh, whatever.
You're just like a Han Solo to be like, this is stupid. And this does not have that. I mean, it has Nicolas Cage, but, like, he's not as much of a part of it as you'd hope.
It needs a jiu-jitsu man who's like, you telling me I gotta fight this alien?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It needs a Tyrese, honestly.
Yes.
Just someone to be like, are we jiu-jitsuing an alien right now? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And everyone else goes, I know it sounds dumb, but here's why it's not. And then we go, oh, I guess you're right. And we move on.
Listen, Tyrese, we have to do it.
By the way, do you know him and The Rock are friends now?
Wait, for real?
I saw that.
They quashed the beef, yep.
Oh.
They had a 4-hour phone conversation or something, and now they're friends.
Wow.
So maybe Hobbs and Roman can happen. That's all I want.
Is that the sequel where they fight the mysterious voice modulator who was the secret villain of the first one.
Yeah, the one that if you pay attention is clearly Ryan Reynolds, but like, is it though? But maybe it's not. But like, it really sounds like he is. But okay, so then Nicolas Cage. It turns out, what did we learn about Nicolas Cage? Or like, how does that fight end? You guys remember?
It ends in much confusion, right? Like all we get from him. It's so stupid how little they tell you. It's like I'm you, but older.
Or you're gonna be me if you don't change, or if you live that long, or fucking whatever.
I know what you're after. Stop asking questions. Just go along for the ride.
Well, and then the fellow jujitsus just show up. They materialize out of the apartment or whatever.
Yeah, and continue to refuse to answer questions.
For like no reason. It's like it would be something like, if we tell you, then the alien will know, because the alien can read your mind, so you can't know anything, or else we're doomed. Like,
but then there'd be a reason for the amnesia,
right?
We can't have that. Yeah,
it would be funny. I almost think it could be kind of funny if every time, like, if this character kept asking characters that, and they kept going, Jake, you're such a kidder, and then just kind of moved on. Because that's the amount of serious not seriousness, I guess. The
weight?
Yeah, that's the, like, gravitas it is given in the moment, and it's pretty important to us, the audience, even if who gives a fuck about Jake. I would like to know.
That's why it's, like, so stupid, because at one point I think Frank Grillo Crossbones goes, listen, Jake, this was your plan, so we're going with it. And it's like, hey, man, you're right. As an audience member, I need to know this.
Yeah, like, I need to know what the plan is, which, by the way, we never find out.
He's the rabbit, Diggins. He was the rabbit.
The plan
What does
was
that mean,
do
TJ?
What the alien said, I guess.
You know how rabbits run real fast? Well, that's Mr. Jake. Jake runs real fast because he's the rabbit. He's the rabbit. Does that make sense?
No.
He is the rabbit. Actually, you know what, DJ? You lost me, but you got me. I'm back. I think this movie made sense. How about, so they all kind of come to this, just like, so this is halfway through the movie, they're all like kind of explain the premise to Jake about the whole jiu-jitsu fighting thing.
We've gotten as far as there is a jiu-jitsu alien. He comes and fights us. We must fight. And, like, that's about as far as we get. Because Jake's like, okay, fighting aliens. Got it. He doesn't go, aliens!
Yeah! What? Jake is so cool with this. No one thinks this isn't. No one, like, I think it's hard in a movie like this that's so fantastic, but set in the real world, for me to think it's interesting if no one in the movie thinks it's interesting.
Right.
Even the amnesia character. But yeah, so then the alien, like, shows up to do some jujitsus.
He's like, hey, you remember the deal? I must kill you now.
Yeah, and there's 9 guys. We've already discussed, like, 6 of them. I want to say there's, like, a couple others. I guess 3 more.
There's 3 no-names who just get dusted in one fight.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So there's only 8 of them left at this point, because we find out later, one of them has already died.
And Jake's like, what? Who? And they're like, don't worry about it. It was part of the plan. We're fine.
We're going to continue not explaining anything to you, even though it's clear at this point that you don't know what's going on.
And there's, like, one of them's kind of following him, and he's, like, a strong, silent-y kind of dude. He's, like, a bigger guy. And he has a friend who's kind of like him, and those are, like, the last 2 dudes. Well, I guess there's, like, the bald guy who I assume was, like, Randy Couture, but it's not, because he doesn't have the ears. But he's got the same, like, otherwise...
kind of,
yeah, he's got the same, like, pointy head with the...
And there's another girl who has, like, a big double-bladed spear.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. What's
sort of
her
the movie,
deal?
don't worry. What's her deal?
She's got a big double-bladed spear. I just explained to you her entire personality in the whole movie.
That's true.
Well, she gets a savage death.
Yeah, she gets the most brutal death.
Yeah, that was savage.
I forgot what it is, so...
she dies in the same way. This happens in another fucking movie. Like, wall of spikes get thrown... Was Kill Bill... Was that someone died?
Oh...
Crossbones, like, throws a knife at the alien. The alien takes it out of its body, stabs it into her stomach, and then throws her into a punji trap that's there for some reason.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think they made it, which... It
Did
seems
they?
like... Yeah, I want to say before that fight starts, they like walk past it, almost to be like, "You see, we thought this through." I remember it being shown before that fight starts, and I think a character was supposed to be able to get the alien into it or something. I don't know why I think that, but I mean, where else did that trap come from? They have to have made it,
I guess.
And it's like a punchy trap, but it's also like a like a punchy trap you would use to catch Donkey Kong or something. Like it's all spring-loaded spikes with. It makes a big like catch. Like it's got a. It's like
it's a fun war crime for kids.
Honestly, it's like what a fantasy character would imagine one would be. But he there's a bit where he is kicked into it almost, and there's a second. And then he's like, whoops, you guys almost got me with your spikes. It didn't work, though, so I'm just going to do them later. But also, like, the spikes wouldn't have worked. Nothing would have worked. Do they want to kill the alien?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, at one point, Nick Cage does admit, hey, you know what would be great if you killed the son of a bitch for me. So at least Nick Cage has some animus that he...
Yeah, it seems like the other jiu-jitsu people want to kill the alien, but then, like, Army Guy and Nick Cage both tell Jake from State Farm, I think killing the alien would be a cool idea. Like, it's not what they've been trying to do.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
He's awful.
I don't know. But yeah, she does have a pretty metal death. I mean, I would say the tonfas are still the best weapon, but, like, she has double axe. And at one point, she manages to slam both axes into the alien in what she assumes is her killing move. And it doesn't work, and she's just, like, powerless to stop it. Which is like, then what are the weapons for? Remember when that one guy picks up the chain gun and shreds the alien? I don't think besides the part where they actually kill it, anyone ever got closer than that.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Should tell you something as a team.
I think Girlfriend, like, shotguns the alien at one point.
No. It's the most competent character in the movie that does that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah, so we have some fights with the alien. All the goons 2, 3, or goons 1 and 2, plus Bow Guy all have their fight in the jungle. And I really don't like this alien suit.
Here's another part that confuses me. So they were supposed to have like a series of 9 one-on-one fights, right?
Yep.
And we are to assume that at this point they are still following the rules and doing things because that's how they think that they have to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
But then all 3 of these guys team up and fight the alien at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the plan, Diggins. Jake's the rabbit's part of the plan.
I guess
what
maybe.
Does that mean?
Well, no, I guess it doesn't work this way. You could say like maybe they're all fighting at once, but yeah, one guy has a shillelagh, and one guy has 2 big knivey sword thingies that aren't really swords but aren't really knives. I don't know what they're called. There's a name for them, but yeah, they're totally going at him like at the same time with like some sort of technique that those 2 know. But at that point, the alien also has a big old sword. This movie's awful.
You would think that if they're just trying to win, that they would do a 9-on-1. Because let's say they did do 9-on-1, would the alien be like up against the rules?
Yeah.
Like, what would the alien even do?
Well, and like if you kill the alien, it does like whatever. The alien's done. Like
that's true. There's no alien report card. Like
yeah,
they're not sending another one. Plus, the portal closes anyway. This is only enabled by the fucking comet.
Do you think cutting this alien's head off would kill it?
Yes. We have no reason to believe otherwise.
I see nothing that would indicate otherwise.
Yeah.
So they should do that.
Yeah.
Because they have a couple points where they totally could, and they just, like, refuse. Or, like, they do that thing that action movie characters do, where they just forget for a second and, like, console each other. But, like, god damn it. This movie is just about Predator. Like, it's been forever since I've watched the original Predator, but I don't think there's a moment like that in Predator where they kill Predator and then they all, like, get a cigarette out for a smoke and then Predator wakes up again. Like, they should cut his head off. But also, real quick, Stick Guy has spiky sticks. That's something.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It seems like his sticks go from being CGI to being props. So that's something.
More practical, so
yeah.
Hooray.
They look less bad. But yeah, I don't know, man. So then we've lost. Okay, so now how many jujitsus do we have left?
Down to 5?
Yeah, I guess it must be. Yeah. So wait, there's Jake from State Farm. Crossbones, the two ladies, and Tony Jaa.
Yep,
that's right.
Yeah, so we're five jujitsus.
And Nicolas Cage doesn't count
because he's not part of the 9 jujitsu team. He's a failed jujitsu from last time.
But like, what makes you part of the team? Do they vote each other in? Like, I figure even if he's a failed jujitsu from last time, that means he's automatically part of this one. Otherwise, it's like fail them all, and then you get a double chance next time. You get 12 or 18 jujitsus.
Do these jujitsu know who Nick Cage is?
They live in his house.
To.
How?
I don't know.
How do they know?
I think they sold him the piano.
That must be it, yeah.
Get him all those newspapers.
Yeah, there's Connect.
He does say that that's how he eats, is he goes to the temple and they give him food, which implies that they do live there.
Yeah, that's right.
So they must be part of some kind of organization, right? It's the only way this makes any sense.
Yeah, like an Iron Fist or something, like where the generations
White Lotus, whatever.
Yeah. And they all have uniforms, kind of.
Well, they're dressed like anime characters, like that.
Yeah, and they're like they're a multicultural group of multicultural people in the sense that some of them are white. And that seems like kind of it.
That's like the Ubisoft thing. Like this game was made by a multicultural set of people with diverse backgrounds.
And also, none of them, despite the fact that they're based in Myanmar, speak Burmese.
Tex does. So,
will always
but
be.
He's not right. He's not jujitsu, right?
He's a military man. He's not a jujitsu man.
Maybe he is the jujitsu. Maybe there's a fake. Maybe that's something we didn't realize. There was a false jujitsu among them.
I was waiting for a time travel twist, or like a human to actually be an alien, or it was a dream. Like I was waiting for something, but no such payoff would come to pass.
No, this movie thinks that twists are just telling you what the plot is, like way later than you should.
And then giving you a bit of information that is like not interesting, but I guess surprising. Well, but also not if you look at what the character said and did.
Yeah, not even plot, just exposition. Like information you need to know to understand the plot. That's all hidden from us.
There is absolutely nothing that is revealed late in this movie as like a twist or a surprise that shouldn't be things we know in the first 5 minutes.
Right. Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
Like I kind of want to watch the trailer when we're finished with this, but like
you should.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Can you imagine a Mortal Kombat movie like this, where at no point I feel like, oh wow, actually I'm trying to wonder. Like I'm trying to remember how they do the Mortal Kombat movies, but I'm pretty sure at a certain point someone sits whoever Liu Kang down and is like, hey, there's this tournament called the Mortal Kombat tournament. Here are the stakes. Here's how it works. We'll see the rest of the things as they happen, but like this is your baseline information.
I have to imagine that point happens before halfway through the movie.
Yeah. And like, cause it's and then by the time we get that information, we don't, as an audience, have time to kind of start figuring it out, because then it's monster attack or alien attacks. Because then we get the first 3 guys in the forest, and then we get the 2 girls and the Crossbones. Now, one of the girls survives, the one with the not spiky hair, but like the blonde hair.
Girlfriend,
yeah, she survives, or whatever she's supposed to be. Other girl, double axe girl, does not. She gets trapped in the trap. Do you guys remember?
Well, first, sorry, I just want to say we talked the 3 like extra jujitsu people die. So they like stayed behind to fight the alien while everyone else went to do the plan. And then as soon as that fight's over, we cut to that night. Jake is unconscious in the forest, and the army man from Fast and Furious 1 has him. And at no point do we find out how or why any of that happened.
Nope.
It's funny because there's no, like, even getting this far into the movie, it's still not clear what the plan is besides just keep fighting it and hope we beat it.
It's never clear. There was never any plan.
I like to believe, and I think that the movie really would have benefited from a scene like this where they show Jake the plan and it's just a spiky trap, and they're like, you see, all we need to do is kick the alien into this and it's game over.
This
Jake's
is you,
like,
Jake.
First
You're
of all,
the rabbit.
this is not a plan. Second, I'm pretty sure this won't kill the alien. I don't know if you guys saw the Gatling gun they used earlier. But the alien is pretty good at this kind of thing.
The army man also imparts the valuable advice that if you hurt him bad enough, he has to take a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and also this trap that they made is not hidden or anything. It's just, like, there. Among scaffolding. Because there's also, like, some just plain old, like, you know, New York sidewalk scaffolding in the background of the shot. But, yeah, this little, like, spiky claptrap is a part of their, like, it seems like they were hoisted with their own petard. Like, he kills the girl with the 2 axes who has 3 hair, like, ponytails and appears to be most competent with it, and that's like a big deal for him. That really pisses off Crossbones.
Oh yeah, Crossbones is so mad about that.
Crossbones' death is so embarrassing.
He does not put up a fight. He does not put up a fight.
Oh yeah, no. Not only does he not put up a fight, do you remember what he does put up?
2 middle fingers, baby.
2 middle fingers, baby. And I don't want to say this guy has small hands, but he has
tiny
little fingers. They're not the size you want. You know, I don't know. There's an art to that.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's like a certain hand size where you're like, oh, those are good hands. He's
like he does middle fingers like God, I don't know, but like so there's 2 ways to do middle finger in my head. I guess there's probably a third one. There's the way he does it, which is thumbs in and then like everything kind of together. Might as well be 2 fists, except one of the middle finger is like more like rigid than the other fists. But whatever. There's like the middle finger that I think is the much cooler middle finger, which is just flat hand pretty much. Bend down the 3 fingers that are not the thumb and the middle finger, and then that's what you give. And like I feel like his one looks pretty wimpy in the moment, and also like it's just so silly because he's a 40-year-old man. Like it's a really silly looking thing. Well, that I'm hoping he improvised.
And he didn't go out like a badass either. So it's like, what are you doing? This is sad.
Besides Jake, he kind of seems like the leader. Like, if anything, he's like second lieutenant. But he, pulls out his little knives, which is he's knife throwing guy. Could have thrown it at any point during this fight. They get taken away from him, and then the alien just beats him to death, grabs a sword, and stabs him. So then we're down to 3 jujitsu.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Plus Nick Cage, right?
Right. Nick Cage, girlfriend, main guy, and Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
So okay. So now it's like, well, we're down to the only 3 that matter. I wonder if the girlfriend is like a famous actress. Like I should know who that is, you know?
Like a famous actress in like Thailand or something?
Yeah, something like that. Like a Fan Bingbing type. Who it's like, yeah, she doesn't put asses in C tier, but she is the biggest thing to happen to like China since sliced bread, you know? That's the name of a real person.
I know.
Oh, okay, yeah. I feel like I mentioned her on the show before because she pops up in movies from time to time, but she, I believe, is the actor that they put in Iron Man 3 to make Iron Man 3 appeal to China. But yeah, she's played by Juju Chan, I think is this actress. Yeah. Yeah. So like she's in stuff. None of it's. I mean, Jiu-Jitsu is her 3rd biggest credit. Although she was in. Did either of you guys watch the Crouching Tiger Netflix thing?
No.
She's in that. I guess
the movie. I did actually. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember any character names, but she is.
I do not.
She is Silver Darchi. I don't know what that means, but maybe she's like a hot young up and comer. I don't know. But then, so we get the two cool guys from before. We get the best jujitsuer, clearly, and Jake fight the alien, Tony Jaa. And Jake doesn't really do much. He contributes as much as he can, I guess, by being there. But,
yeah.
He gets the participation trophy.
Yeah. He tries. He's at least, like, bought into the whole jujitsu premise, which got about 20 minutes of movie left, so good. But Tony Jaa and the monster looks stupid, so the fight is stupid, but Tony Jaa is just so good. Tonfas are so cool. You do
Man, how is that not your best part of this movie? Because it's clearly your favorite.
Well, I guess if this scene was any good, this would be the best. If it wasn't an alien, if it was just a guy, that'd be the best scene in the movie. Because the shit that he does where he's, like, flicking it around and doing multiple, like, hits to the whatever spear that the alien now has is pretty sick. And he kicks the spear in half. Yeah, this scene's awesome. And he doesn't die. He is beaten but not killed.
True.
Very important.
Although, does Brax have to fight to the death?
I don't know.
It's never made clear.
Maybe Brax realizes that he's the best one and he wants to save him for last.
Well, no, that's Jake. That's
I know, but Brax knows that Tony Jaa's actually the best one. Like, he also knows the rules, but he's like, I don't want to waste Tony Jaa and now have to deal with Brax. Oh my god, I forgot about a really important thing. Or not Brax, Jake. Do you guys remember what the fucking other thing, what the advantage they have over Brax is?
Oh my god.
Yeah, right, I forgot about this.
Whoa,
they have these, like, cloaks.
The hoodies.
Oh my god.
That are just like little hoods and, like, half capes. Yeah. Basically. Like little tiny capes that drape over their bodies. And these are supposedly like thermal cloaking that makes them invisible to his heat vision.
Yeah.
Which is barely
like their
true.
Even though, which is like, yeah, A, is like barely a thing that exists. B, even though they don't remotely cover their entire bodies, will completely cloak them from his vision.
Yeah, most of them are sleeveless.
Yeah.
But, like, if you put it over your head, your whole body disappears.
Well, most of the heat comes from your head, so that is
true. That's what you always hear during the winter months. Put on a coat, or put on a hat.
Yeah, cover your ears, earmuffs, so, yeah.
That's
super important.
Yeah. You can walk out in, like, board shorts and and a tank top as long as you're wearing earmuffs.
Seriously. So go to, if anybody has this thing open, 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 45 seconds in, they cover up with the thingies, and sleeves just go from covered up to not covered up based on, like, the hood going on. It's pretty awful.
Oh, my God. This movie...
Yeah, the movie
sucks. How little
sucks.
can be put into one movie, right? Ugh.
I mean, it's pretty much over. All we have to do is have the remaining characters fight the Thing, and the only character that has not fought the Thing yet is the
Nicolas
magician's
Cage.
or sorcerer's apprentice himself, Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Yeah. And he
Benjamin Gates.
Yeah.
What
do we think of this fight? This isn't the worst fight. It's okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
I thought you might like this more than the other one with the Jake fight, but this one is the Jake fight is better than this. But I did like this one.
What did we talk about last week?
What movie?
Yeah.
New Mutants.
Okay, so this must have been from this then. I was talking to, I don't even know if it was the person I was watching this with or someone else, but like there is if we're talking about trends in recent action movies, I don't know what it's called, but I don't even know what you would even call it. But there's such a delicate balance that not no one, because plenty of directors and like cinematographers know how to do this right. But the sit up, fall down, like camera goes with the guy shot.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
It's so easy to tell if it's all fucked up, and it's all fucked up in this fight a couple times.
When they like spin 360 degrees.
Yeah, it's like Artemis Fowl when they fall down the stairs, but like. I don't know. It has to be so intentional and so like not necessarily the point of the fight, but yeah, it doesn't work here, and it's really distracting and kind of upsetting. Other than that, though, I like this fight. There is a lot of scaffolding. I don't know why.
Yeah, they do their little respectful bow at the beginning.
Yep.
By the way, that could be a great point to like sucker punch Brax. Again, I don't know if there's like a disqualification. Like, if there's a Death Star on hand to blow up Earth, but, yeah, I think that could, like, really come in handy. Some food for thought.
Yeah.
Just, like, kick him in the nuts real quick.
Also, Brax does that thing where he puts a sword down and grabs it with a different hand or something, and it's awesome.
Yes.
But, yeah, there's a lot of, like, kicking around and flipping, and the camera flips with the guy that did the flip, and I hate it. Nicolas Cage does some pretty awesome flips, though. That aren't with the camera, and he pretty much kills the alien.
Whatever stunt guy they got to do Nicolas Cage's stunts in this movie's pretty good.
Yeah, right. So
but
props, I guess.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage like almost wins this fight. It's pretty upsetting that he doesn't, because in the moment I was like, well, this has to be it or something. How is he not going to kill it right now?
I thought he was going to cripple the alien that would give the others an advantage later, which like might have been some good writing, but nope.
Yeah, he like stabs it and does a big old what would be like disembowelment. And instead of like taking a second, the alien heals automatically, like Wolverine.
Yeah,
Bad
I thought there
Wolverine.
was some time, but I guess not.
Yeah.
You got a 5-second window, except you don't, so okay.
And then Nick Cage is upsettingly killed.
Yeah, the blood spurt. So he gets sliced across the neck. It's like really ceremonial. Like he cradles Nicolas Cage and then like runs his sword across Nicolas Cage's neck, and then there's just like blood that like bleh, like it just explodes
the blood
from his
spurts
neck.
in this movie are so bad.
I
It
was
is from fucking
laughing
angel
so
fire
hard.
or something. Like it is so ugly.
Michelle thought I was dying because like I couldn't breathe because I was laughing so hard because it's so ridiculous. Like people put effort. Like people probably missed birthdays.
Yeah.
To work on this movie. Like, god damn.
And like blood is cool, I guess, in a movie like this if you're like Quentin Tarantino, but it's all or nothing. Either the blood looks great and it's constant, or you just don't show the blood and it's fine.
Right.
Edit around it, it's really easy. But yeah, so then the end fight, we get the dude. It's a main character guy, Jake, his girlfriend, Tex, and the couple from
Old
earlier.
couple.
Yeah, with a shotgun.
Well, first, Jake and his girlfriend have like retreated back to the temple where the Tex has brought the old couple from the beginning, and they stitch up his girlfriend so she doesn't die.
We haven't really talked about this. What's in the temple?
A portal.
Yeah. Couple circles. Bunch of concentric circles on a wall.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
much.
when the comet comes, the concentric circles turn into a portal, and that's where the allium comes from.
Yeah. And then like they all
like,
fight the thing.
They don't have a plan, right? It's just like they're like, because they're like, all right, we got to get out of here. But then Brax just shows up, right?
Yeah.
Like they are not ready for this to happen.
Right, but then the old woman just drives them off with a shotgun.
Right, doesn't matter, right? It's like, oh, I guess you do shotgun now.
But also, like, if you're gonna fight, like, if you're gonna hide from the alien or like try to do a surgery, Temple's probably not the best place. That's where it goes. Use one of your ridiculous edits to transport back to the military base. That seems like a safe place.
Well, then at least it would be relevant, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's where we're gonna bring, because the military now knows the guys. But no, I don't think we see the military ever again.
No.
Like,
Except for Tex,
Tex
yeah.
if you want, but yeah, that's it.
After the attack where he finally loses them, Tex is the only military Tex and the captain who finds him because he's unconscious for some reason that's never explained are the only military people that ever show up again.
Why is Tex in the temple? Do we know?
No.
Okay, cool. Cool. Like, he helps translate, but that's not why he's there.
Yeah. No, it's just because he's kind of a character that can conceivably be alive, I guess.
Is he not your Tyrese, actually, now that I think about it? Or
Like
does one of your jujitsu need to be a Tyrese?
You need a jujitsu. You need someone who's being explained the plot. And he never learns the plot. Or even if he does, he learns it way too late in the game.
That would have been a good role for Tex, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Like, if he could have been our narrator, or like person who we like learned through, like our eyes, I guess. Like, that would have been
Maybe like
good.
him and Jake spend some time together on the army base. Like maybe there's like a couple weeks of what you would call it, and he is Jake's friend, and Jake's like, where he goes, I go, or where I go, he goes.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right,
I am now Jiu-Jitsu member, except I have guns or grenades or whatever.
yeah. And you
My
can have
martial
some fun,
arts style is gun.
You can have some fun bits where the alien passes him over because he doesn't believe. He's like, this is well, he's not one of them, right? And everybody's like, no. She's got two axes. She's part of it. I don't know if you could tell by his meek size and lack of, I don't know, signature weapon.
And anime gear, right? Just don't give him any anime gear.
He doesn't even have a hoodie. So, that fight is bad. Actually, you know what? That fight's also not the worst one because they use the magic of editing to kind of make some of the kicks look cool. But how do they kill the alien?
It's so great.
It's so great.
So they're fighting, right? And it's like, oh, the portal's about to open, which I don't know if they know that, but we see the comet in like every other shot. So like we as the audience know it's about to happen. So the girlfriend does a shotgun to him, right? I believe it's the girlfriend.
Like shotgun being the like little arrow thingy.
The forearm crossbow.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. It was forearm crossbows him to like wound him, Brax, the alien, and then Jake like gets on top of him, and I don't know what Jake's plan is because then how fortunate to our wandering eyes appear.
Yes.
Text with some grenades that I guess he just had.
They're
standard
shown
issue
a
military
bit
grenades.
But like, not every guy just carries grenades around. Like, they're super dangerous.
No, but I do think he says that at one point earlier in the movie, because I remember this happened, and I'm like, where are these fucking grenades? And then he shows up with the grenades, and I was like, cool. Because, yeah, I think he, like, I don't remember. Maybe during the scene where they're stitching her up, he reveals that that's what he brought, and in the moment...
Okay, that's my bad for missing that. How dare I miss...
Chekhov's grenades, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, the way that is shot is so funny.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Please explain.
Like, so Jake is sitting on top of Jake is on the alien's, like, shoulders, pretty much.
Like piggyback almost?
Yeah. And there's a big open wound in the alien's, like, sternum, and Jake sees Tex, and he's like, hey, and Tex takes a grenade and tosses it to Jake, and Jake, like, does the thing with the pin and puts it in the alien's chest, and you're like, okay, cool. And then Tex does another one of those.
2 grenades.
Yeah. It seems like in a movie this seems like the parody of the movie where they do 1, and then this is like the Not Another Teen movie where they do 10, and it just everyone keeps throwing things to Jake. Because, yeah, it's so funny. And it's like, why does he need 2? 1 seems like it might do the job.
You guys are also glossing over the part of the fight where Jake gets the upper hand because they go near the fire, and now the alien can't see because there's fire.
Oh my god!
They did a Hollow Man
and a Predator. They fucking didn't learn the lesson of Predator, but still kind of accidentally got at it. It's never used like actively against the alien. Like, it is like a little bit then, but it's not like they, like, I don't know, it's not like they defeat the alien with this.
Yeah, it's not like he starts using a torch to, like, confuse the alien or something,
or lights a sword on fire or some shit.
Yeah, it's just that like the alien loses him, wanders around for a bit, like, oh, where'd he go? And then he does a big kick on him, and like, that's it.
Well, what's bizarre is, like, it's not even, like, a big bonfire. It's, like, these little braziers. Like, I'm pretty sure he could, like, pick him up. Like, I don't think this... It's not like Jake was inside the brazier, like, oh, I am fire. He'll never see me.
So, you tell us more about these braziers, DJ.
Oh, dude.
Are they involved when you're feeding that dog?
What is this? What?
Or maybe when people are getting facials?
Is that the word brazier? Is that what that is?
Isn't that the word?
Brazier.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced differently.
Wow. Thanks, everybody.
I mean, brazier is another thing that would probably also distract an alien for some amount of time, depending on the situation and the alien.
Depending on what that alien's into.
Yeah. If this is like, dude, where's my car? Braziers will do a good job.
Sorry, this is a brazier.
Brazier, yeah. Like a fire pit kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But not like, a brazier. But still... Anyway, I do want to highlight one thing, and I think everybody that has this movie should watch it. After the kick, so Jake, not after the kick, but Jake, disorients the alien with fire, then gets a good kick on the alien, and I'm assuming puts on his little invisibility cloak and disappears and I guess everyone else has theirs on too, including Tex, who does not have one, but the alien can't find anyone in the room to fight. It is okay. So I'm at an hour, 33 seconds, an hour, 33 minutes, 53 seconds into this movie. So like the shot is the alien gets kicked and like is like, what's going on? Then you get a good look at the comet again, just in case you forgot, and then the alien is like now just realizing like stuff's going on, like they've come to a trick me, and this is at the 1 hour and 34 minute mark exactly. The alien wanders around like he forgot a fight was happening, just in this one shot, because it's not like he's in super karate mode or anything. He's just like, I thought there were guys in here. Well, like, it's such a weird posture that the stuntman in the alien costume takes. I don't know. It's really weird. But yeah, then Jake heroically kicks the alien, and then the movie ends. I don't know.
I mean, basically,
he heroically kicks the alien. The alien falls through the portal, which is opened back up, and then while in the portal, the grenades go off and explode him.
Yeah, I hope we don't like kill the Earth in that moment. Like that seems like the kind of thing that might just make a black hole, or who knows?
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, Like this, you know who this bad guy looks like? He looks like a putty from the original Power Rangers. Like not like the new one, like the old ones.
Yeah.
I'll probably also like the new ones. And then the movie's over, and then Tony Jaa shows back up, and he's like, "Hey," and everyone's like, "Hey, you're back." And I don't think he's ever in the same shot with everyone else, so I don't think that was originally the plan. I think they figured out that he was popular and decided he should probably be in a sequel. And then that's
it's not a bad call.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see more of him. He doesn't even exit the temple with them. All of the rest of them exit the temple, but he's...
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
he's not in that shot.
But
he's not like with them when the couple are stitching them up or anything. He's not in any previous scene since he lost his fight.
Yeah, he just had... Well, but there is that one bit where So this is at... What is it? God. An hour 50... Or an hour and 36 seconds and... Hour and 36 minutes, 57 seconds... You get the reveal of Tony Jaa. He comes in and he smiles at him, and they all go, "Ha ha, it's you again," as if he is in the same room with them. But like, he's not, because we see the whole room in the next shot or two, and he's not there. It's really weird. The movie's bad.
And we get the final line from Tex: "See you in 6 years," or maybe not, because for some reason the old lady said you've ended a 2,000-year epoch. So who the fuck knows what the rules are?
Yeah. I also like the Tex wants to get drunk. I can commiserate with him in that moment.
Oh, dude, when the lady said, when Tex goes to the old woman, "Do you want some?" She goes, "No, it's poison." I'm like, oh my God, has he been drinking poison? And like, oh no, it's like alcohol is poison. Like, it would have been so great if like, she's like, "Here, numb the pain, snake venom." And he's just been like drinking snake venom the whole time. I can't feel my arm.
Oh, God.
Would snake venom be bad to drink? Because my understanding is it's mostly like a blood coagulant.
I don't know.
True.
All right.
I guess the stuff you eat does get into your bloodstream.
Yeah, because that's... yeah.
Yeah.
So don't drink snake venom, kids.
I mean, I'm not saying I recommend drinking snake venom no matter how it works.
You know what? I do recommend drinking snake venom. Try it out. Who knows?
I don't recommend it, you kids. Kids listening to the show right now, don't watch this movie and don't drink snake venom. If you have to choose, I can't tell you which one's worse. Flip a coin. Yeah, this movie stinks.
It's awful. It's awful.
DJ, you loved this movie.
It's not the worst premise ever. It's executed really, really badly.
I've been over this. I have horrible taste. I love it, and it's awful.
You should just realize how susceptible DJ is to peer pressure. That he came in being like, this movie's great, and
great.
Now, just from talking to us for the past 3 hours, is like, this movie sucks.
Oh, I feel like there have been minute-to-minute those, where, like, not in this episode specifically, but where DJ will come in and he'll be like, I actually like this show. And I'll be like, are you kidding me? It was the worst. And DJ was like, nah, you're right. It was very good. So, you know.
All right, look, I stand by this movie in that it is a technical nightmare. But, like, I would say that this is a movie I do think our audience should watch. Like, I think you should watch this. You'll get something out of it.
I cannot, in good conscience, recommend this to the audience, having not recommended all the other garbage we watched recently. I could. I don't know if I'd recommend
garbage.
Man, we're on a real hot streak lately, huh?
I just don't.
Well, that's a whole different thing.
I think watching it wasn't very fun for me. I watched the whole thing and was like, oh God, this is like, I think it needed to be more of something. Better jiu-jitsu, more zany characters. It just, there were enough points where I was confused, but not in an entertaining way, that I cannot, like I said, cannot in good conscience recommend this to people. The same way that I would, God, I don't know, what's a bad movie we did recently that I liked? Like, I didn't like Witches.
Didn't you love New Mutants?
No, well, I think it's better than terrible, but I wouldn't say anybody should like rush out and watch it. Or like Unfriended or Hollow Man, Jupiter Ascending. Like, I would say like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, while not a good movie, will entertain someone for an hour or 2 hours. Fast and Furious, any of them. Like, I think there's something, those are like far more, competent. Even like Mac and Me, I'd be like, you'll get a kick out of this. This'll stick with you. Whereas this movie, very forgettable also. But no, it's okay if you liked it. It's great.
Yeah.
No,
you're not a terrible person if you like jiu-jitsu, only if you made it.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So let's see what everybody's got to recommend. DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. Wouldn't it be funny if one week I was just like, no?
Yeah.
That's always how it starts. Do you have anything to
Wednesdays.
recommend?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, this pass. All right, so Animaniacs on Hulu. Been watching that. It's been fun and nostalgic, along with Pinky and the Brain. So if you have any of that like '90s nostalgia, would recommend Animaniacs.
Are those pigeons in it?
No, it really just seems like they just are doing Animaniacs sketches with also Pinky and the Brain sketches. At least so far, I haven't.
If you
watched
had
all the
to only
episodes.
pick two of them, those are the two you'd pick, I guess.
I like the pigeons, the good feathers.
good
I like the
feathers.
pigeons too,
Yeah.
but they are a very specific reference that maybe doesn't make sense in the 2010s.
Well, that's kind of
Right.
what I was hoping for. I wanted to force some of these characters into the 2020s and 2010s and whatever, and just be like, yeah, what do people think gangster movie pigeons do now? What do, I don't know. It's great. But I haven't watched it yet. I've heard relatively good things.
It's more good than bad, I would say.
Okay.
And I don't know how much of it affects you how you felt about the original Animaniacs. So take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And then a couple game recommendations. So I replayed Last of Us 1 to get ready for Last of Us Part 2, which I got on Black Friday. Forgot how good 1 was, and I'm like, it's crazy you could go back and play a game that's 7 years old and be like, oh, what was this, made in the 80s? What is these pixels? And then you play Part 2, which came out this year, and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful. So I would recommend both. If you haven't played Last of Us Part 1, it's like a really good story. Naughty Dog at its best. I'm working my way through 2, and apparently there's a controversy, but I tried not to spoil myself, so I don't know what it is yet.
First of all, you've been saying Last of Us wrong. It's actually pronounced Uncharted 4 because you called it Naughty Dog at its best. And Uncharted 4 is the greatest video game ever made.
Wow.
I don't know what to tell you. Sad little What If There Were Giraffes doesn't hold a candle to driving down a fucking volcano.
Just like
yeah.
killing my recommendations.
I think you mean Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
Oh, sure. Is there another one?
That's the whole title.
Oh, sure. I was going to say,
title.
like, is there like DLC I missed?
Obviously, a real fan would know the subtitle of the
course
game.
I know the subtitle. How about this? DJ, at any point in Last of Us, do the characters pick up a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 1 and play Crash Bandicoot? Because otherwise, who gives a fuck, right? Yeah, I'm going through Uncharted 4 again this week in case it's unclear.
He's got you there. That does happen in Uncharted.
It's so... It
Damn.
makes you go like, man, Crash Bandicoot fucking sucks. It's so frustrating. I like those games, but like they are purposefully difficult to like maneuver the crash sometimes.
I mean, that is true. I don't know if the new one got any better because there was like a new one released this year, right?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's about as far as I got with it too. Like I heard they make another one of those. All right. So Last of Us 1. What else you got?
All right. So my last one is Game Pass game. I always like to recommend a Game Pass game once in a while, so I'm getting my money's worth. So this game came out, I think, like over a year ago. It's called Celeste. It's a platformer.
Oh yeah, Diggins. Did you wreck that? I think.
Have you ever wrecked Celeste? I'll feel like a damn fool if you have.
I'm pretty sure I've wrecked Celeste, although it was quite a while ago.
Son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
I kind of remember it, but I don't remember anything but the name. What is it, DJ?
So it's a platformer where it like scales in difficulty. The music is really good. It's very fun and whimsical. I won't go too deep into it if Diggins recommended before, but I will say a fun thing about the game is like it starts as a fun little platformer that gets progressively harder, and you're like, oh, this is a nice platforming game. But you soon learn it's actually a game about mental health.
Aren't they all? You know,
Right?
The Crash Bandicoot level, if anything, really tests your mental health in Uncharted 4.
And yeah, right. If I get through this without throwing my controller at the window or TV, I've achieved some level of mental health.
I mean,
sorry, I stuttered.
It's not a shock that Nathan Drake loses Crash Bandicoot and then decides to pretty much leave his wife forever and go on a treasure hunt.
I guess it's fair.
This isn't the life for me.
If I can't beat Crash Bandicoot, then I don't deserve a wife.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake says, storming out of his house.
Yeah, maybe this dingo dial thing is a normal man's game, and my game is somewhere in the stars or in the mountains or whatever.
I hate to go backwards, but forgive me if I missed this. Did we mention that Nicolas Cage is Jake's father in the movie?
Oh, God, no, we didn't.
We never actually said it. We alluded to it, but we never said it. Maybe we never said it because of how much it doesn't matter at all.
He's like, is that during the
worth...
fireside chat? Or is that before that? Or after that?
It's during when they're getting stitched up. His girlfriend is like, don't you know who he is to you?
Oh, yeah.
He's your father. A thing they apparently all knew and just didn't tell him, even though they know he forgot everything.
Yeah.
Like, it goes back to this crazy flashback where there's like a little kid punching like some long-haired guy's hands, and they're on like these rocks by like a beach.
Like, I think this works if there's a 20-year gap between jujitsus, but like a 6-year gap, it's like, what happened when he was 20 himself? Why wasn't he part of it then? This actor is, probably in his mid to late 20s. He doesn't seem like any young buck.
That's true. Why is it 6? That's so frequent.
It's way too frequent.
It should be like 60.
It'd be like the elections in the United States where like one ends and the next one begins, It's like, fuck, I thought we'd get a week before we got jujitsu'd again, but I guess we all gotta go jujitsu. Everyone find a random item and that can be your thing.
Not to interrupt the rec segment,
no,
but I probably should mention that Nicolas Cage is Jake's father.
Tweets upon tweets. Just kidding. No one has seen this movie. But maybe one tweet. But so Uncharted 4, aka Last of Us, Celeste is the other one?
Mm-hmm. Celeste, yeah.
Okay. I've heard good things from Diggins. I feel like there's like a platforming mechanic about it that's interesting, but I can't remember what it is.
So I had mentioned, you may not have used this much, DJ, and I personally didn't use it much, but I thought it was cool they had it. There's like a very extensive assist mode in that game that if you're having too much trouble and you decide you want to go through the game like without having to do a particularly hard segment, or you just want things to be a little easier for you, it gives you a lot of freedom to adjust things like how many jumps in the air you can do, speed of the game, like lots of things like that.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like in the main options, DJ.
Are you serious right now?
Yes.
There's an assist mode?
Yes.
Oh
DJ,
my God.
You don't need no assist mode. Am I right?
Apparently.
How far did you finish it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished it. I finished it without using it. Also, I mean, I didn't.
Okay.
I wanted to play the game normal, but I'm saying it's nice of them to include those options for people who, don't have the time to get good at a really hard game, but want to experience it. But so they can make it just a little bit easier for themselves. If you want to have like your kids really want to play it, but they wouldn't be able to do it, you can like turn on a bunch of the stuff so it's much easier, and like a kid could do it.
Yeah.
It's cool that the option exists.
I did not know that. I'm going through the B-sides now, and I legit might turn some of those things on because some of the B-sides are effing impossible.
The B-sides are nuts.
They're so hard.
Cool.
Wow. All right. Cool.
Good to know. See, we learned something. The recs we give sometimes are like jujitsu. Our weight is used against us, and they are wrecked back at us, and we learn new recs about ourselves.
And for some reason, I never have an original rec. Speaking of, I did buy the Avengers game, but I'm not wrecking it. I'm not wrecking it.
Have you played it?
Yeah.
How far have you gotten? You finish it?
No, I haven't progressed as much as I last talked to you.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't found the time.
Right, because you
I'll
hadn't even gotten to what's his name, to like
Stark now,
or like Hulk. Had you gotten to Hulk?
Oh no, I'm at Hulk now, so I guess I did progress a little bit. Yeah, I'm hanging with Hulk.
Yeah, like
I'm
I said, I think
Hulk.
it really
It's
opens
good.
up when you get Iron Man. But yeah, I mean, well, now we have the final, not final, but like we have an actual date for the Kate Bishop DLC in next week, and also she is the Kate or not Katie, what's her name? Haley Steinfeld or whatever. She's Seinfeld's daughter, right? That's gonna be her whole deal. She's like, what's the deal with Bumblebee? She is currently filming the Hawkeye show as Kate Bishop, so very exciting week for Kate Bishop. But yeah, so that's something. I've been on that game a little bit more recently, but anyway, very good. DJ Diggins, do you have anything to recommend?
I do, Nando.
Is it a new thing?
Yeah, is it not a DJ old hit?
I am fairly certain that neither of the things I'm about to wreck have been wrecked before on this program.
I'd love to hear it. Let's. What do you got?
The first is a movie. a new movie on the Hulu.
I knew you were gonna. I haven't seen it yet, so go for it.
It's called Happiest Season.
Mm-hmm.
It's, your standard fare Christmas romantic comedy that you might see on any Hallmark channel. But it's a little higher quality, and they shelled out a little money for the bigger stars, because we've got Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis are the main couple. John Levy from Schitt's Creek is like the friend character. And it's very much like your classic, like fun, charming little show, but this one's gay, fellas. Which is cool because Hallmark has only like barely started doing some of that with their Christmas movies. And so it's nice to have one of these that is not only features a gay couple, but it's about, like, the whole central conflict is that one character is not out to their parents yet, and they're going to their parents for Christmas, so they have to pretend that she's really just her roommate. And things proceed from there. It's not an amazing movie. But it's cute, it's charming, it's surprisingly funny at points. I think it's worth watching. Okay. And my second rec is a Vibio game.
Ooh.
One that gives me a great amount of pleasure just from saying its name. I speak, of course, of Bug Snacks.
Oh my god, you're playing Bug Snacks?
Wait,
Hell
does
yeah,
that mean
I'm playing Bug Snacks?
Is Bug Snacks a PlayStation 5 game?
It is on the PS5, but it is also on the PC and the PS4, and I'm playing on the PC.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking of PS5. You have a fancy gentleman there, but yeah, Bug Snacks, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
So if you don't know about Bug Snacks is a game by the Octodad people, in which you are it's a world of Muppet people. So you're a Muppet person who's also a journalist, and you're going to this island that an explorer has found that is populated by little bugs that are also snacks, like the little food bugs. And you eat them, and they taste good. And also, they turn your limbs into the things that they are. Like, if you eat a little strawberry bug snack, maybe your foot turns into a strawberry. Something like that.
And there's also, like, some sort of mystery element, right? Or something?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you get there, like, the little settlement that they have put together has, like, fallen apart. And the main explorer lady, who is their leader, is gone. And no one knows where she went.
Oh, my God.
So you're trying to figure out where she is, trying to find her, while at the same time helping them put their community back together, convincing everyone to come back and like work together on this island. That's like the main thrust of the game. It is extremely cute. It's a very cute game. Everyone's a cute Muppet person. All the Bug Snacks are very cute. It's just very, very charming in that sense. But also, I think this game... So if you played Octodad, I think Octodad's like fun and funny. But as a game, it is primarily a joke.
Interesting.
It's... I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean primarily the thing of Octodad is it's very hard to control and like weird. And so that game's only like 2 hours long because that gets tiresome very quickly. And like that's as long as you can stretch out a joke concept to be a game before people get tired of it. Bugsnax is much more of like an actual meat on the bones video game than Octodad was. It's much longer for one thing. But also, the main mechanical like thing that you do is catching the bug snacks themselves. And in this, it becomes kind of like a puzzle game. Like you have to figure out their behaviors, what they like and don't like, and what tools you have at your disposal, and use those in a way to, in some way, incapacitate or lure into traps the bug snacks so you can capture them. And it's kind of neat because it's one of those games. One of those puzzle games where it's like, there may be a way that they intended you to do everything, but the tool set is wide and varied enough that you can do things where you're like, I'm pretty sure that's not how I was supposed to do that, but it worked. Which is always kind of a fun feeling with these sorts of things.
Like the Super Mario Sunshine kind of game design philosophy. It's like, if you get lucky and fuck around. The little flood thing, you'll get you to the place you're supposed to be at.
Yeah, like, good for you. You did it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the fun of it, knowing that you came up with something clever.
Yeah, kind of like that. So it is fun. It is fun in that sense, in that the gameplay it's not like terribly complicated still, but there's enough to it there where you have fun, like figuring out the puzzles, and then also the visual design and the writing are all very cute, very charming. I'm having a really good time with it so far. I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm about like halfway through, I want to say.
Nice.
I'm having a great time. So that's my second rec, Bug Snacks.
Big stuff. I know Donkey had a Bug Snacks recommendation.
He did.
Or not recommendation video. He also did a Demon Souls one. So he's been, oh my God, excuse me. My cat is attacking he wants to eat the microphone stand thingy. And he is mad at me for making him not do it. Excuse me, Mortimer. Anyway, so he did that, and he's been on like the PS5, what's the word, like a bender. So there's some fun stuff. Bug Snacks seems interesting. That's it. Bug Snacks seems interesting. The end.
It is.
Cool. All right, I got a couple quick ones. So I know I'm sure we've wrecked this before. I started playing Apex Legends again with a friend of mine who plays it. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. There's some interesting new guys, and it's like the same kind of. Well, you know what it is? It's like I want a good game with like a team game with good gunplay, and
it's called Destiny.
It's not. Yeah, Destiny sucks. So it's that. It's Apex. Destiny's like fine, but it's like that and boring. Whereas this is fun and easy. But
damn.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Destiny, I get it, I do, but
it's okay.
I cannot, with good conscience, recommend Destiny. But I will say, as far as things that have, oh my gosh, my Google, something Google said really like got excited about that. Or like something I said made Google lose its mind. I will say there's some fun things that I have watched recently. So we're not. Well, actually, none of them were watched. But so, game-wise, like we were saying, I'm playing through Uncharted 4 again, which is great. The games, have you guys seen the PlayStation games for December?
I have not.
It's a fun one. So PS5, if you have PS5, which I don't, there's one of the Worms' games, which, who cares? PS4 gets a game called Rocket Arena, which kind of looks like if Overwatch and Fortnite had a baby. So, like, over-the-shoulder kind of arena-style combat, but like not like Battle Royale. But then Just Cause 4 is the other one, which I've never played, which I'm looking forward to. But I've liked the other ones of those, the other Just Cause games. So
right,
kind of looking forward to that. I don't know. I think it's usually like the 6th or the 7th, but might try to give that a little bit of time. I watched an episode of Seinfeld. I was looking at the meme the other day, where it's like, I'm going to tell my kid that this is Uncle Ben, and the meme is Marissa Tomei sitting with George Costanza, and because Marissa Tomei is the Aunt May. So I watched the episodes of Seinfeld with Marissa Tomei in them. Terrific. That show is so funny. I haven't played any other games. So I used to say I've been reading a lot of comics recently, so a couple real quick recommendations. There's DC's doing all its Future State stuff now, or Future Slate. I honestly don't even. I've read it a couple times, but never heard it said. But it's like 1,000 years into the future or something. There's a whole new slate of heroes. So like, there's a new Green Lantern and a new Flash and a new Superman or whatever, and it's supposed to be pretty good. I don't know. I've heard Daredevil's up to some interesting stuff. There's a new Batman Catwoman book by Tom King, who I really like, and he is the Batman writer who writes all kinds of great stuff. And no one liked his Batman because he was kind of, not like no one liked his Batman, but there were problems with his Batman, and it kind of seemed like the solution was just do a book about Batman and Catwoman being friends and like having a relationship. So that's fun. Strange Adventures is coming to a close, but then and then I got 2 books that I haven't read yet. One is oh my god, my cat is just so excited about, he loves comics. One is called Die, which I was talking to Diggins about before. It's by Kieran Gillen, who is one of my favorite writers. Oh my god. He's buying everything. He wrote a book called Once and Future. I think it's really fun. This book is pretty much Jumanji, but if Jumanji was Dungeons and Dragons. So it's like a
Okay.
some kids that reunite to like go back into the fantasy world to rescue their friend. I've heard it's terrific, and I'm really excited to finally have it. The other volume I have is one that we're doing for the book club this month for the Patreon is Grant Morrison Wonder Woman, so I'll update on the progress of that. But we wanted to do a Wonder Woman book, and I like Wonder Woman, the New 52 Wonder Woman that they did, but this is probably more interesting because Grant Morrison's a great writer. But the one thing that I'm going to recommend, and I've kind of gone through a couple of things, but X-Men just did an event book or like series that was a 22-part series, which is too many for most books. But it's called X of Swords, but it's really 10 of Swords, but it reads from a distance as X of Swords. But it's based off of kind of like tarot cards, so it's supposed to be the 10. And the whole premise is there's an alternate universe that is connected to the world that the X-Men currently inhabit, which is like a magical island creature thing. And it's kind of like the evil version of that universe where Apocalypse's first 4 horsemen got stuck and have been up to some stuff since then, but there's like their universe called Araco and then Krakoa, which is like the island the mutants live on. There's a guy in between or a girl, but she is like, I'm tired of all this fighting. Araco's up to some like they're starting problems. So what I'm gonna do is create a tournament, and the tournament is gonna be I'm gonna get the 10 swordsmen from Araco and the 10 swordsmen from Krakoa, which means like the 10 X-Men who have some sort of relationship with the sword, and some that don't, but like get some, have like a kind of what you would expect to be kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh-y kind of tournament where it's like the winner's planet lives and the loser's just dies. But it's just really, really good, and it's pretty funny, and I try not to read too many event books because they're usually a waste of time unless the writer that's writing them is good. But this one's written by a bunch of different people. But I think the X-Men comics recently have been really great, and whenever this comes out as like a trade or something, it's totally worth it because it's really fun. So I was very excited about that, and it just ended. So that's been like my jam. Been up on a lot of comic books, and that's about it though. Does anybody have anything to plug in this upcoming week?
Nothing here.
Not even your exciting Bachelor podcast?
Well, sure.
No,
Rose and
yeah.
Rejections,
Come
Pop
on,
Break
DJ.
Feed. Check it out. I don't know if it would get like boring after a
Recommend
while.
it a lot of podcasts I listen to, not a lot, but a handful of them. We'll start with an introduction, because our introduction is like, I'm Nando, and I'm DJ, and I'm Diggins, whatever. If we were like other podcasts, and I don't necessarily want to do this, but it would be like, I'm Nando from Nando V Movies, and I'm DJ for this podcast, and I'm Diggins from these videos and stuff. You know, like, there's a lot of upfront plugs in podcasts, so some ones at the end aren't so, there's nothing wrong with that.
You know what they say, DJ? ABC. Always be closing.
That's
Closing.
right.
Okay.
Steak
Check
knives.
out Roses and Rejections on the Pop Break TV feed, wherever your podcasts are sold.
I love
Thank
it.
you, gents.
Diggins, you got anything to plug?
Not at the moment. We'll see.
What are the results of your Twitter poll, Diggins?
Oh, they were overwhelmingly in favor of videos. So
did that change after I retweeted it? I think people want the How to Train Your Dragon video, I think is it.
Yes, do it.
I mean, the results were overwhelmingly in favor of videos before you retweeted it, and then just became more so afterwards.
Okay,
so,
that's fair.
If anything, they became less so, actually.
Oh.
But not by much. It was still like 80% video. I am dedicating myself. I am training with the blade.
Oh.
I have gone to my sensei, and I'm going to try and have a video into my editor by the end of this month.
I love it.
I'm not gonna promise a video out because I can't control the speed at which they edit.
That's I think the people want to know. Like, the thing that I always loved about making videos, and the reason I started, is because I would have conversations with friends, and I would have some sort of point of view, and I couldn't put it into words in the moment, but I would come home and be like, you know what? I figured it out. That's what it was. But I can't have the conversation with those friends again, because that'd be weird. So instead, I'll just put the conversation into the world and see what the world thinks. So, like, the How to Train Your Dragon 3 premise is perfect. Like, and I'm excited as a person who was part of the conversation to, like, get the full argument, but I think the people that have heard it are equally excited. So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Do you have like a link, or like what's your channel? How can people find you?
I don't. My channel does not meet the parameters to have a custom link yet. But
really,
I think you need a little more than I've got.
Oh, it used to be 100 subscribers and something else or something. But
I can look into it. But right now, if you just search my name, Chris Diggins, on YouTube, I'm pretty sure it's like, I don't have a very common name. I'm pretty sure it just pops up at that point.
Yeah, if you Google Chris Diggins or if you search Chris Diggins on YouTube, it comes up with your Artemis Fowl video, and then a couple of our podcasts. So
yeah, I'm not hard to find.
Yeah, cool. What was I gonna say? Oh, I do want to plug. I usually don't have like plugs that aren't just video stuff, but this week we're recording this on the 3rd of December, technically, which is like the 2nd because it's like Thursday night. But we'll be putting it out on like the next soon. On Friday the 4th into the 5th. So I guess technically at like the 5th, I think I'm scheduled for like the 1 p.m. hour. A YouTuber, a friend of mine, Tim from the channel Hello Future Me, is doing a 24-hour stream that is him playing, I want to say, Breath of the Wild. I'm 90% sure it's that. He did. What's up?
I was going to say, is the new Hyrule Warriors game that came out that's kind of like in the same universe?
No, I think it's it's Breath of the Wild. Last year he did Spyro, and I think the whole thing was just kind of a simple like, what's a game that people can watch me play for, a bazillion hours. So so it's another one of those like kind of charity streams. Cool. And it's going to be this weekend. So I'll be like just on. It's not like a multiplayer game, but I'll be just like on and chatting and stuff. So that'll be this weekend, and I'll be like on Twitter, so just follow me on Twitter for like updates on that.
Nice.
What was the other thing I was gonna say? I had a conversation. So I've been working on making a video for a while. Not like working on making a video, but I talked to someone a little while ago about a video that was like talking about it's actually really interesting. It's always been interesting, but the idea is like talking about trilogies and kind of how does a movie, what makes a good trilogy, and then like taking that criteria and making that something that's kind of fixed, comparing trilogies to that, and then saying like, okay, so what was the third movie in this trilogy missing that kind of took it off the rails? And we had a conversation that's going to be a video in the next couple of weeks about Captain America Civil War and how like it would be cool if Zemo was just a villain. And it's so weird because it's really hard to describe, but like what we came up with I thought was so good. And so the video itself, I don't think it won't be on my channel, although I'll have a video that'll talk about it. But it's a YouTuber named LaRon Reedus, who makes videos about like stuff like the stuff we talk about, comic books and movies and whatnot. But yeah, sometime this month I'm going to be doing a video with him, and it's going to be like I have the note page in front of me from the conversation we had yesterday. And it's so good. And it's going to be about Civil War. But besides that, yeah, that's kind of all I got. I think I'm making a Batman v Superman video soon. It's pretty fun. And I'll try to do streaming, but you never know. I actually want to stream Cyberpunk, but we got a week before that comes out.
Oh, man, who's excited?
We'll see if it comes out. I don't want to, like, give him, you can't get your hopes up. You just can't. It would be great,
it's true.
But probably going to take a little while. Here's a question. So let's say we do Christmas Chronicles next week. That's like, that makes sense.
Right.
Any ideas for anything you guys want to throw out as like a, hey, maybe we do this the week after?
Oh my goodness.
Right? I know, it's tough.
The Santa Claus.
Oh.
Do we put out a poll?
Well, I would say more just like let people tweet us what they're passionate about, what they're interested about. Because there's so many answers and so many different ways we can go. Mr. Sunday is doing the Santa Claus like rewatch series, and it's so interesting because like the rules of that universe are awful, but I kind of worried that I would just say all the things I said on that.
All right, okay. Then Jack Frost.
I've never seen that. Have you watched that before?
The one I've watched it both as a child and like last year.
Is that the one that's not a horror movie but seems like a horror movie?
Yeah, there was famously someone made a trailer for that movie that was shot as though it was a horror movie, or like the trailer was edited as though it was a horror movie. Although the premise is itself kind of terrifying in that a dad like dies and then a year later is reincarnated as a snowman who has to connect with his son.
Yeah, played by Michael Keaton, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Indeed.
He's terrific. Oh, speaking of Claus, like Santa Claus movies, I forgot to rec this, but I watched it. It'd been on the top of my list forever, but I'd never quite been in the mood for it. I finally watched the Netflix movie Claus. Have either of you guys seen that?
No, but I've heard good things.
So,
It rules. Oh my God. You guys got to watch that. It's such a good Christmas movie. So funny. Animation's beautiful. And story is like one of those kind of, what if Santa Claus was like a real guy and all the things you heard of him were kind of like this, and this. Like, you know, sleigh doesn't fly, but it kind of seemed to one time. So maybe that's why people think. But beyond that, just it's a really good, like, I feel like if anything, it maps closest to like Emperor's New Groove. And yeah, that's on Netflix, so just watch that. But
nice.
Where was I going with this?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Oh, potential Christmas movies. So Jack Frost, not a bad one. Maybe like a Grinch or something like that. That's like something that I'm
which
seeing.
Grinch? The Jim Carrey Grinch or the frumiest Bandersnatch Grinch?
I've never seen the frumiest. I love the Jim Carrey one. I've seen the Jim Carrey one a million times. The Bandersnatch one I've never seen, but I've heard nothing but meh things.
You should watch the Bandersnatch one. It's worth a watch. He fucks. It's great.
I mean, the other one fucks too. Fucking,
well, this one also fucks.
The one from the Jim Carrey one fucks Christine Baranski in that movie. So like, that's a choice. I mean, like, they don't fuck, but like she wants.
She wants to.
I'm sure he wouldn't say no. It's not at the top of his, you know. Like, it's not what he's all about, but it's what she's all about. Yeah. We'll see. Everybody tweet us at nitpickingpod, because we'll have a week where we're definitely doing Christmas Chronicles 2. That's next week. Very excited about that. If you want to go back and listen to the original Christmas Chronicles episode to get ready for it, that's a good one. But tweet us suggestions for the week after.
Learn nothing about Christmas Chronicles 1 in preparation for this pod.
Probably.
Yeah, like I said, in a perfect world, Christmas Chronicles 1 doesn't exist, but the spirit of a Christmas Chronicles-y type movie exists. But I have a feeling they'll build on the mythology in stupid ways. So we will see. But like, there's hope. Besides that, I can't think of anything else. I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Sippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woo! Bye. We love you.